My name is Brian Craig, and this is where MAGA comes to talk. Now, today, we got a big day, right? President Trump just ended another war, and I really have lost track of how many wars President Trump has ended. So, does anyone know offhand with the Israeli-Gaza war, how many wars is that? Are we at 6 wars? How many wars are we at? You know, President Trump has ended every war in the world except one. And that, of course, is the Russian-Ukraine or Ukrainian 8, 9. I know, we need a real itchy brain says 8. Derek says 8. Yeah, I think it's 8. Yeah, if you think about it, it's a lot. It's a lot. I gotta get a piece of paper and write them down. And no president, no world leader has deserved the Nobel Peace Prize more than this guy. You know, he should be, President Trump should be winning Nobel Peace Prizes like Michael Jackson was winning Grammys and the American Music Awards when Thriller was out, okay? I mean, this is amazing. There are people who will be alive today that would not have been alive at the end of the day if Trump had not ended this war. Think about that, right? Think about that. So many people were dying. And for the life of me, I cannot imagine how a single Trump derangement syndrome suffering Democrat would not approve of this. Who would be against the ending of a war? How could you be against an ending of a war? I don't see how it's possible. This is my first coffee of the day. So I'm way behind on my coffee, way behind. So since my mind is not functioning on caffeine yet this morning, I only have twice the brain power of the average liberal. You are welcome to call in. The toll-free number is in the live chat. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. My name is Brian, and this is where MAGA comes to talk. And, you know, this peace agreement that President Trump came up with, I want to go through this when the radio show starts. But what President Trump has done here is nothing short of miraculous. Notice my wife got me this cool Trump belt. You guys see it? Can you see that on the? You guys may not be able to see it on the one stream, but it's a Trump belt. See, it says Trump on it. It's nice. Wife got me this super cool belt. But what President Trump has done is nothing short of miraculous, because my entire life, okay, people have been trying to get the Palestinians and Israel to come to a peace agreement, right? And this is one, when it's all done, is going to be the big one that changes everything. You know, President Trump has made friends with sworn enemies in the Middle East already, right? You know, and I know sometimes it's controversial, like the leader of Syria and everything else. But President Trump has united the Middle East behind us, not just the Abraham Accords, but which was big. And with the Abrahams, a lot of you lefties may not know what the significance of the Abraham Accords is. It's talked about a lot. But can't you guys see? You can see how much weight I've lost. Do you guys notice how much weight I've lost from Coastal Weight Loss Secret? Is that absolutely amazing? It's absolutely amazing. The Abraham Accords, what it did, it got all of these countries to recognize Israel as a nation. They didn't even recognize Israel as a nation until President Trump put the Abraham Accords together. That's it. Didn't even do it. They didn't even recognize them as a nation. So President Trump got them to do that in the first term with the Abraham Accords. And now he's formed these economic alliances with Middle Eastern countries in the United States, which we never would have had before, like Syria. And now Gaza, and what's going to happen with Gaza, because he talked to us about this at the beginning of this historic second term. President Trump is going to rebuild Gaza and make it a resort destination. You know, we got our MAGA cruise coming up. I wouldn't be surprised if we took a MAGA cruise one day to Israel and Gaza. It wouldn't surprise me. Gaza is going to be like Morocco. It's going to have casinos and hotels and resorts. And, you know, what the left don't understand, because the left can't understand much of anything. You know, Trump derangement syndrome is hatred. So the left are so consumed with hate, they can't see themselves. Let me make sure hold on. I have to turn the phones on at the radio station. Let me make sure I did that. Okay, glad I checked. Okay, glad I checked, because I didn't. I hit a button here. Okay, phones are now switched on at the radio. I can't take calls until after the top. Gaza Lago. Trump derangement syndrome is hate. And when you're consumed with hate, you can't think clearly. It's like being high or drunk. You just can't think clearly. You're impaired. So the liberals can't understand what I'm about to share with you. But President Trump's diplomacy is unlike any other diplomatic strategy of any other leader of any country in the past. Now, he offers you an incredible offer, and if you don't take the offer, you're dead. Israel would have wiped out Gaza if this deal wasn't accepted. But what President Trump does is it's all about money. It's all about money. And he makes people financial offers that are going to make them rich beyond imagination. And that's what most people care about, is money. You're always going to have ideological lunatics, and that doesn't mean that there aren't going to be other terrorist acts from the Muslims in that area. We still have Iran to deal with, right? Who's behind all of it. But the people of Gaza are going to live a better life than most of you watching me right now. They're going to become rich. It's like the example I give all the time is here in Florida, we have the Seminole Indian tribe of Florida. The Seminole Indian tribe of Florida, they're all rich. Each one of them, every man, woman, and child, each and every month gets thousands of dollars for doing nothing other than being a Seminole Indian of Florida tribal member from their casinos, from their Hard Rock casinos they have in Florida, here in South Florida, one in Tampa, and everything else. And they are loaded. And if they live on the reservation, they don't even have to pay income tax. And that's how the people of Gaza are going to be. They're all going to be rich. And the people of Gaza, I'm going to go over this when we go live on the radio in a bit, and then we'll take calls. But if you're calling in, hang in there. I cannot take calls until after the radio show starts, because there's other programming on the radio right now. So if I take calls, it'll be on the air. So I can't take these calls until the radio show officially starts. But, you look at the way the people of Gaza were living prior to this. They were not living by modern standards. They were living in poverty, mud huts, run-down, condemned buildings. And since everything is pretty much destroyed over there, they're just going to go through it with bulldozers and rebuild everything. And President Trump talked about this at the beginning of this term. They're going to turn it into a very rich resort destination. It's going to become like the south of France over there. And the fight between Israel and Gaza in the future, when all is said and done and rebuilt and everything, the fight between Israel and the Palestinians is going to be over tourists. They're going to be fighting over getting the tourists to come to their countries to spend their money at their vacation destinations. That's what's going to happen. You know, Gaza is going to be like Abu Dhabi, Dubai, all these rich Muslim countries. That's what it's going to be like there, except it's going to be from casinos and vacation resorts and everything else. It's going to be so upscale. And, you know, when people are living in poverty, they don't have electricity, they're living in crap. You know, they're pissed off and they're looking for someone to blame. And Hamas, which of course is Iran, use that poverty. They blame Israel, and then they get them to do all these things. So that's going to turn around. It's going to completely turn around. I know, it's amazing. Yeah, billionaires are going to go there and invest and rebuild the entire place. It's going to become you will all wish that you were a Gazan in 5 years, because Gazans are going to be rich. They'll never have to work. That's why Greenland should join the United States. It'd be the same thing for them. Mm-hmm. If you're on hold, stand by. Can I take calls until we're on the air? Mike is cutting it close, but he'll make it. Oh yeah, this is exciting. And out of the Middle East has been nothing but a pain in the butt for all of our lives. And Gaza Lago. Gaza Lago is what you got a better one? You guys like Gaza Lago? Someone says Mara Gaza. No, I think Gaza Lago. I don't know, Bruce. What do you guys? You guys have any better ones? Gaza Lago is my favorite. Bruce has Mara Gaza. I like Gaza Lago. You Gaza Lago, I think, flows better, but I don't know. President Trump will have a name. He'll have a name for it, and it'll be good. He's good. He's good with. Yeah, people will go there to go surfing. Yep. But I mean, if you are one of these anti-Trump people, how could you be opposed to any of this? Gaza Lago? Yeah. How could you be opposed to the ending of a war? Is this the 8th war? It's amazing. It's amazing. Now, so that's what I'm going to talk about at the beginning. And then, of course, we'll talk about the Antifa conference yesterday, which was absolutely amazing. It was pretty cool when one of those citizen journalists suggested to President Trump that Antifa International should be added to the international terror watch list. The president just did it. He says, "What do you guys think?" Okay, do it. He gave an order to do it. I mean, have you ever seen a president of the United States sit down with a citizen who suggests something and immediately they give the order? That kid that suggested putting international Antifa on the international terror watch list, that statement that they were probably very nervous to bring up, they got U.S. foreign policy decision was made and ordered right there on the spot. I've never seen it. Yeah, when have you seen that with any other president? You know, usually these town halls, they're all BS. You know, no, Elena, we can see you. You know, they're all BS for press and everything else. President Trump's actually doing stuff and giving orders. I mean, we saw U.S. policy, a policy order given by the President of the United States to the Secretary of State right there, boom, and it's done. Done, just like that. When have you seen that before? It's amazing. President of the United States giving orders right there during a conference. It's freaking amazing. Gaza Lago. I think that's what I'm going with, Gaza Lago. It is a minute till showtime, so I don't know. Mike's cutting it close, but since I'm here, I can start as... He's got time still. But I'm going to get it started. Okay. All right. No, we're not on yet, but it's cutting close. Cutting close. Welcome, everyone. If you're new, my name is Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk.
Personalities and guests alone, and not those of Vic Canellis Media Group, its parent.
Oh, we'll see.
VCMG Live is not responsible for any content, information, or opinions expressed. User bears full responsibility for their reliance on such content, information, or opinions.
All right, we'll be on the air soon. If you want to call in, the number is in the pinned in the live chat.
From the All Year Cooling Weather Center, South Florida's #1 choice for same-day AC service and installation. Here's your oldies forecast.
See, look at this. 5 shots of espresso. But I used to have 2 of these in the morning. Now it's just 1. See that? It says right there. Brian, 5 shots of espresso. That's a lot.
Weather brought to you by All Year Cooling. Enjoy free AC replacement estimates along with same-day service and installation. Visit allyourcooling.com to schedule your service today.
But I used to have 2 of those a day.
All Year Cooling is here to serve you.
Now just 1. So.
And now, a true oldies traffic check. Brought to you
Oh my goodness.
Beach Club.
Mike's not here. If I was using my home studio, we'd be late on the radio today. He'll make it. The weather's not well. It's rainy and wet around here. Plus, he's got 2 jobs.
This Sunday, October 12th, BBKC presents South Florida's premier sports car and memorabilia show. Shop amazing vendors, explore a variety of collectibles, and best of all, admission and parking are free. Catch all of the football games
Here we go.
on sports TVs,
One more commercial, then we'll be up.
football buffet, and the Paddock Restaurant. Plus, make it a full day with exciting poker, table games, and super OTB action at PBKC. Get all the details at bbkennelclub.com.
Imagine a world where all your smart devices work together seamlessly in one simple ecosystem. Introducing the Sloman Shield Link. With Sloman Shield Link, transform your home into a truly intelligent smart home experience. Control your lights, heating, and cooling. Doors locked, cameras, TVs, just about anything in your home. Life is busy.
Here we go.
Daily stress is added. But with the Sloman Shield Link, your home tech works in harmony, making life more convenient, safe, and enjoyable. Imagine pulling into your driveway and with one tap, your home welcomes you. Lights on, doors unlocked, only to hear your favorite music. A true smart home isn't just about gadgets, it's about comfort and security. With Sloman Shield, enjoy a full integration of home security and automation, all at your fingertips. Make your life easier and your home a safer haven. Learn more at slomans.com or call 1-800
Here we go.
Alarm Me. Embrace the future of home living with Sloman Shield Link.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All righty, welcome back, one and all. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. It is Thursday, October 9th already. Welcome, one and all. And, oh boy, what a day yesterday was. So, President Trump has ended another war. I was asking everyone in the live stream, I've lost track, I'm not kidding, of how many wars the president has ended. I got to make a list. He's ended so many, not only have I lost count, I forgot about some of them, but in the live chat on YouTube, they told me that we are now at 8 wars. This is the 8th war ended. Is that true? He's ended every war on earth except one. And that's the Russia-Ukraine or the Ukraine-Russia war, whatever you want to call it. But that's next. But this is amazing. And, you know, this ending of the war with Israel and the Palestinians in Gaza is beyond amazing. It is nothing short of a miracle. It's nothing short of a miracle. I want to talk about that in the beginning of the program. And I also want to talk about that journalist meeting that the president had yesterday at the White House on Antifa, which was also amazing and historic, and a lot of things happened there too that we are going to cover. If you'd like to call in about any of the things involving Gaza and Israel, you're certainly welcome at 1-888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you are tuned in from, 888-465-2631. So, nothing short of a miracle. What President Trump has done in the Middle East. And by the way, there are people that will wake up tomorrow morning that would not have woken up tomorrow morning if Trump had not done this. They'd be dead. And if Trump had not been reelected, these wars would not have ended. They'd all still be going on. But what President Trump has done in the Middle East is, without question, an absolute miracle. And he started it with the Abraham Accords in his first term. And just to tell you, the Abraham Accords, the main thing out of the Abraham Accords is these Islamic countries recognized Israel as a nation. These countries in the Middle East, they did not even recognize Israel as a legitimate country. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, but they do now. And that was a big step. And President Trump had this Mideast tour a couple of months back, which was fantastic. And he has made economic alliances with Middle Eastern countries that were our sworn enemies not that long ago, like Syria. And, you know, that's why he took that new Air Force One from Qatar, which we haven't seen. They haven't shown us that Air Force One. Maybe President Trump wants to wait until it's done and unveil it. I don't know, but we haven't seen that massive Air Force One that Qatar gave us. But anyway, you know, he made all of these economic alliances in the Middle East. Some are with countries we never would have been friends with before. And now we've got this Gaza, Palestinian, Israeli peace deal, which, you know, I don't think there's anyone in this audience that can remember, that's old enough to remember a time when the Palestinians and the Israelis weren't killing each other. And there have been so many endless summits and meetings and treaties and this and that. Remember when they killed the Israeli prime minister? Oh my goodness. That was like on TV years ago. But now we have it. Now we have it. And what President Trump has put together in the Middle East, in particular with this peace treaty with Gaza, the Palestinians, and Israel, is one that when it's done is going to change everything forever. And President Trump's diplomacy is different than any other. Other presidents are just stupid people. They don't know what they're doing. Most of them are manipulated by donors, in particular the military-industrial complex, but other donors as well. And they're incompetent boobs. And they don't know what they're doing. President Trump understands what makes the world go round. Money. Money, 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 money. That's what makes the world go round. And when he first came into office in this incredible second term, and he started working on ending this war with Gaza and Israel, he talked about turning Gaza, which looks like Hiroshima and Nagasaki after the bombs dropped right now. He talked about turning Gaza into Gaza Lago, right? A resort, a place people are going to want to go to on vacation. And what Gaza, Gaza is just rubble now, right? A few buildings here and there. They're going to go through there with bulldozers, and they're going to clear it all out. And then President Trump's going to do what he knows best, and that's build fancy stuff, fancy places and resorts. And in 5 years, there are people listening to my voice right now that are going to go to Gaza on vacation. We might have a MAGA cruise one day. We got our 10th annual MAGA cruise coming up in March. We may have a MAGA cruise that goes to Israel and Gaza. Gaza is going to have casinos, golf courses, beach resorts, and the people that are the Gazians, or whatever they call themselves, they're all going to be rich because they're all going to get paid a percentage of the profits from all the resorts in Gaza. And instead of fighting Israel over dirt and killing each other, they're going to be fighting with Israel, competing for tourists to come to Gaza or Israel with their money. That's going to be the war between them in the future, the fight for tourism. That's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take a while. And there's always going to be fanatics who go and do things. But, I talk a lot how I I watch a lot of the true crime stuff on. I like true crime. I've always liked true crime. And 99.99% of murders in the United States have one of two motivating factors, right? What is the cause? There's two causes. What are the top two causes of murder in the United States? Top two causes. Money and sex. Sex is number two. Money and sex. And there's some crossover. There's other reasons, but those are the two most common. Money and sex. Money, 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 money. And what they've been doing to the Palestinians forever and a day, they've been living in like complete poverty. Right? They've been living in complete poverty. They have not lived in, in a modern place like you or I live in. A lot of them don't even have electricity and plumbing or their own bathroom. I mean, they have to share, they got like community bathrooms in those old buildings. The buildings aren't there anymore, but the buildings that were blown to bits. And when it gets rebuilt, they're all going to be living in the modern era, which they've not been doing until now. And what the left do, and this is what they've been doing to the Palestinians, they go to an impoverished group and they use that, they keep them in poverty, and they have them living in dirt and things like this. And they use that poverty because people aren't happy about living in poverty. And people that are living poor and like it's 100 years ago and everything else, they tell them it's the fault of the Jews, the Israelis. And they gin them all up to hate the Jews, hate Israel. And they get a lot of them to kill Jews. That's how they do it. But once they have some skin in the game and they're rich in Gaza and it becomes a resort destination, all of that's going to start to change, and it's going to start to change real quick. You'll see. And that's President Trump's plan. Now, we got a lot to cover today. I am going to continue to talk about that because it's very, very important. And I am going to talk about that Antifa meeting yesterday because that's also very important. If you'd like to call in, the number's toll free, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. I want to talk about Dr. Appleton and his laser away pain treatment. Dr. Appleton, he's rid me of pain 7 times. You guys have heard me say that a lot. And it's absolutely amazing. I mean, the different pains I had were pretty bad. Shoulders, arthritis in my hand, my knee pain from the car, all these pains. And pain... and by the way, my eye is all better, having not gone to that eye doctor that called in yesterday or going to the emergency room. Remember I was talking about this, how I didn't go to the ER for my cat scratched eye? My eye is all fine now. No pain, no nothing. No doctor, no ER. $2 in distilled water and some saline eye drops, and I'm as good as new. But anyway, back to Dr. Appleton. What's absolutely amazing about Dr. Philip Appleton and his laser away pain treatment is that his robotic laser actually repairs the damage that is causing you the pain. And the pains I had, it's not like when I hurt my eye with the cat scratch the other day, that just hurt like a son of a gun. The pains I had with my shoulder injuries from my skateboard accidents and my knee from the car accident, my arthritis, these pains were so bad, I just wanted to go to sleep. Do you know what I mean? I just wanted to go to sleep. And sometimes I did, or sometimes I'd have a martini or two or get out of the Tito's or something, But I don't have to do any of that now because it's gone. Because Dr. Appleton didn't just rid me of pain. He repaired the damage in my body that was causing the pain. Give him a call. Remember, the consultation is always free. No charge consultation. Go and sit down. Talk to Dr. Appleton about his laser away pain treatment. If you have x-rays or scans, bring them with you. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. That's 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. All right, if you're on hold, hang in there. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show.
All right.
888-GO-KANE-1. This
How's it going? Hey, Joe's coming in today. Okay, they told. Yeah, okay. That's why I can't. Just to let you know, I didn't know if you knew.
Hi, I'm Sunset. We love our Florida sunshine, but a hot house? Definitely not. At All Year, we offer same-day AC and plumbing service and installation. Zero down financing? Yes, all year. Need help today? Yes, all year. Need plumbing help?
Yeah.
Yes, all year. We're South Florida's #1 for comfort because our family is serving your family
Crapped
all
out on
year.
me yesterday
Call us
after
today at 833.
4 or 5 years of
That's 833 all year.
service. So I went from the 12 to the 16.
Oh yeah, is it much? I don't know which one mine is. I'm like 2 phones behind. I think I got a 14.
Okay.
How's the 6? It's light. I know that because my wife's got it.
Thick.
It's the. Oh, do you have the Pro?
No. Well, actually,
I get the big one, so it might be thinner because I got more room.
probably.
I always get the big one.
I don't know. It felt heavier.
Oh, it's heavier? The 16, really?
When I picked it up for the first time. I was like, whoa. Like,
Do you get Apple Care?
Verizon. I have Verizon, so it's like Verizon protection.
Oh,
But they did the same thing with my old phone that broke. I didn't even know I had it. I forgot I put it on. And they're like, oh, yeah, protect. Like, they're like, you know, like, you're good. Like, just, it's like $9 or something.
Apple Care covers water damage. I don't know if the Verizon does.
I don't know if it was just, it was like a whole plan. I honestly didn't check.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, but it was
Like
like 3 hours.
I just cracked my screen on this one. I'm going to take it back, and the screens are hard to replace. Usually they mess it up.
the
So
screen or the back.
yeah, so you get a new. They'll give me a new phone. They'll give me a new 14 or whatever one I have. They'll give you a new old one out of the box still.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, this is my second or third phone. They're the same kind. I don't even get cases anymore. I stopped getting cases
Yeah.
because of the Apple Care.
Mine always, my cases usually always break.
Oh,
I knew
yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know why he buy cases, but this guy like swore up and down that this case is gonna be fine.
They get more money on the. They get bigger commission on the cases probably than the phone.
I would be surprised.
Yeah.
A lot of changes this year, but don't worry, I've got a solution for you. Do what we do in McCain household. Call Debbie Glassow and
Mike's phone. He broke his phone.
Debbie will give you a review of your existing
I think I have the.
and give
I don't know
you
if I have
all
a.
your Medicare options. Call Debbie
I don't know if I what number phone I have. I've lost track.
Mention me, Steve
He does,
King.
Bruce. Yep.
He'll be sure to make room for you. Call 954
One more commercial, then we'll be back.
8080. That's 954-753-8080. Be sure to tell them that Steve Kane sent you.
Hello, this is Mike at Friendly Tire. I've been in business 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used tires.
Okay, a couple
I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I can get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone.
All right, coming back.
New and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, Harrison Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at FLA.
Alrighty, callers on hold, stand by. I'm Brian. You're listening to Steve Kane Show. You know, before we go to the phones, of course, we're talking about Gaza. I'm going to get into Antifa in a bit. But remember, we're talking about open carry in Florida, which I've actually done a few times. I've done some open carry. Last time I was here at the radio station, I was open carrying. You guys just didn't know it. But we were talking about stores, what stores. This is being reported in all the local news. Publix, this is from WSVN in Miami, but it's on all the news stations. Publix confirms it will allow open carry inside Florida stores. Isn't that something? Wow. So, yeah. So if you go to Publix and you see someone with a gun, open carry, they're allowing open carry at Publix. And I'll tell you something, that's going to really, the other stores, they should advertise that. They should, well, I guess they are by having everybody in the news know about it. That's right. Second Amendment people, we're all going to go to Publix now. That's a great, free advertising campaign. And I'm pretty excited about it. the few Winn-Dixies around, the Aldis and all of that, Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's aren't they from California? Is Trader Joe's from California? Weren't they part of the Aldi? Isn't Aldi and Trader Joe's the same company? I can't remember. But those other grocery stores, I think Trader Joe's just seems liberal to me. I don't know. And Aldi's from Germany, so I don't know what their position is on it. But Publix is a good Florida company, so open carry will be allowed inside Publix stores. I can't wait. I haven't seen a single person open carrying, but me and I was open carrying kind of in a not a show off way, but I was at Friendly Tire the other day, and one of the tire guys, he was telling me that he saw a guy at Walmart on TikTok, at Walmart on Broward Boulevard, and he had an AR-15 over his shoulder. And he showed me the video, and I couldn't believe it because I thought Walmart didn't allow that, but this guy was walking around Walmart in Fort Lauderdale with an AR-15, and he's black. And I'm thinking, you know, I would wait, especially if I were black. If I were black, I would wait to walk around with the open carry because I don't even know if all the cops know yet, but it's going to be pretty exciting. All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Morning, Brian. It's Taj.
Hey, Taj. What's up?
I wanted to talk to you about what you were addressing about Gaza and the peace deal, and I agree with everything you're saying. And you've got to remember that President Trump's only been in there for 9 months, and he's getting things done immediately. So I think that's phenomenal, and I think what you said is right. If they rebuild Gaza and the people are benefiting, I think that you will have less resentment and less potential for violence afterwards. If you think about what happened after World War I with the Treaty of Versailles, it kind of punished Germany so much that it ended up we having World War II. But you know, after World War II, we rebuilt Europe and haven't had issues with.
Yeah, and Gaza's a tiny place, and you know, the thing about it is, from what I'm reading, I could be wrong about this, but from what my understanding is that the people of Gaza, those Palestinians in Gaza, are going to have the same deal that the Seminole Indian tribe of Florida has. You know, the Seminole Indian tribe of Florida, they all get thousands of dollars every month just for being their percentage of the profits from the Hard Rock and all of that. The one in Tampa, the one here in South Florida. And I think it's going to be a similar thing with the Palestinians in Gaza. They're going to be like the Seminoles Indians here in Florida. They're going to get some of that. They're going to get money from all that. They're going to be rich. They'll never have to worry again.
I think you're right, and I have a few friends from Palestine, and one of them, she's been living in exile in Saudi Arabia, and she always used to talk about, you know, wanting to go home. So I think that's going to be. I think that's just if it really can happen, and I really pray every day that it will. That it'll be phenomenal.
Well, you know what it is, Taj. You know. In these Middle Eastern places where the Palestinians are, they don't live like we live, right? I mean, it's third world. You know, they don't have, you know, and they're kept in poverty like that. The people that live in poverty are angry, and they're always blame. So they you know, the Iranians get them to blame Israel for their poverty, and then these things happen. Now that doesn't mean that this is going to end overnight, and there's always going to be radical lunatics that do things over the years. So like when they open up when they rebuild Gaza and it becomes Gaza Lago, and they have all these resorts and casinos. Yeah, I like Gaza Lago. They have all these resorts and casinos. I expect some Islamic cell to blow up a casino or something. I mean, this is good. It's part of the culture right now. It's going to take a few generations for it to go away completely. But the endless wars between the Palestinians and Israel. This is the beginning of the end of that, with the rebuilding of Gaza.
I pray, and I hope you're right, and it sounds great, and I think, you know, we just gotta pray to God that this happens.
Absolutely. All right, Taj, good to hear from you. Take care. By the way, obviously he's Muslim, so he's happy. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
You know, Brian, I'm sorry, I can't take it anymore. I don't know. You know, I'm not a Trump hater, but to listen to you, boy, you can really spin crap. First of all, I'm going to say this straight up. You cannot change radical religion. It's oil and water. It's not the
listen. Hold on. Okay, finish, Richie, and then I'll respond.
Let me figure exactly. I think it's a great, noble idea. It's worth a try. Nothing else has worked. This is not compatible. In other words, you're telling me they're going to stop trying to take over Europe?
Yeah. No, we're talking about Gaza, Richie. Like, for example, I'll use you as an example. Okay, Vietnam veteran. If you know, I was watching this guy the other day. He's retired Army. He's living in Saigon. He's got some young hottie. He's living the life and all this stuff. And look at how different it is there compared to when you were there.
Time out. You're 100% right. That was not a religion. That is communism and capitalism.
Okay.
But this
all right. Okay. Well, let's go. Okay. Then let me go back. Then let me go back a little further. This was a religion. Japan in the Second World War was a religious thing. The emperor was a deity. That was a religion, and they were cutting heads off like the Muslim terrorists of American soldiers, and then like people go over there and stay in the Pokemon Hotel in Tokyo now and stuff. I mean, come on.
You talked about the Abraham Accords. You know what the Abraham Accords were really all about? Those were an alliance against Iran because they were more afraid of the Iranians attacking them than anything else. Let me tell you, you're not going to change your religion. There's most Muslims are decent people. There's 10% fanatics, like ISIS and all.
You know, but you know what, Richie? You sound like a fanatic right now.
Ridiculous. And Trump is pie in the sky with this one. This is only going to be a temporary thing. You said there's going to be, of course, there's going to be a few fanatics. There's half.
Like you. I mean, look at you. Like you know, you can't get over you cannot get over your hatred of, and I understand, of the Muslims. Listen to you. You're hysterical. You're like Greg too.
Oh my God! You know, because you pie in the sky crap. This is ridiculous. Let me tell you something. I believe, and this is my personal opinion, I believe that this is going to blow up, and when President Trump sees the better days, this is not going to fly. You know why? Because they hate.
Yeah, listen. Yeah, but you listen. You're gonna you hate Muslims.
I don't trust
Yeah, so you hate Muslims. So there. I didn't say that this is not the end of the violence. You know, there's fanatics like you on both sides, and the killing will continue.
You're very good at your job trying to twist things, but you can't debate me here. You cannot debate me because
this isn't a debate. This is you sound like a woman going through menopause right now.
Oh my God. Okay, I'll talk calmly to you. You cannot buy a religion, and Trump is trying to buy the religion. It's impossible. You're going to have this fanatical wing of them.
What's the religion in Dubai and Abu Dhabi and in those places where all the movie stars go? What's their religion?
They're not. They are not.
They're Muslims, right? They're Muslims, right?
They're not the fanatical. They're not fanatics. How about Syria?
We're friends. We're friends with Syria now.
This is a joke. The Jews have to go in there to try to stop the killing. Israel.
Well, listen, Richie, listen. I will never go to a Muslim country in my life. I will never go to when they rebuild Gaza. I probably would not. I might go to Gaza. Maybe we'll do a MAGA cruise to Israel and Gaza. I don't know.
I won't be around. This will never work because you cannot buy a religion, and capitalism does not work amongst fanatics.
Yes, they use that. Listen, Richie. There always a bit. You know, even the Nazis was really a form of religion, and they were fanatical.
This is not a form of religion, Brian. You come on, please.
What about Iraq? Iraq. They're not running around causing problems anymore, and they used to always cause problems.
Take a vacation in Iraq.
I wouldn't. I'm not going to go to a Muslim. I will never go to a Muslim country.
You know.
I don't know. Probably a couple guys in the army from the JAG Corps. You know, that are over there. That's about it.
I don't know. You know what's amazing to me? I think what Trump did was 100%. There's nothing else you can try. It's worth a big try, but I don't think money could buy fanaticism. I think people that went into the World Trade Center that took us out and sent $5,000 back after living like kings over here for a while.
Yeah.
They were more. It was more important to me.
But do you agree that you are a fanatic or not? You sound like a fanatic.
No, I don't think I'm. You know what I think I am? I think I'm a realist.
But here's the thing. Most fanatics and bigots never view themselves as a fanatic or a bigot. They think they're a realist.
President Trump thinks that his Mar-a-Lago and making gold buildings. You are. Listen. Your feelings towards Muslims is like Jay from Jersey and Renee from Harlem towards whites. That's baloney. My feelings towards Muslims is not that at all. You guys, you totally. My feelings towards fanatical Muslims that want to kill me. Yeah, that's.
Who wants to kill you, Richie?
Oh my God!
Who wants to kill you?
You're a fool. They want to kill you. You
hear this?
Yeah, they really.
You almost cussed. Almost had to dump you. You almost used a curse word.
No, I never.
Oh, did it sound like Richie almost used a curse? Richie, I gotta run. Okay, appreciate the call. Did he not almost use a curse word? I don't know which one it was going to be. He caught himself. Oh man. See, there are some fanatics out there on both sides. Although I've taken 2 calls today. The call before Richie, Taj is a Muslim. He's a longtime caller to the program. He doesn't call much. Minimum some appearances. I remember, who could forget a name like Taj, right? So, Taj Mahal. I talked to a Muslim, and I talked to Richie, who's half Jewish, right? His mother's not, so he's technically not a Jew. But let's just count him as a Jew for the discussion, right? Who was peaceful, who was angry? The Muslims sounded pretty cool, calm, and collected. Right? Richie sounded like a fanatical lunatic. All right. That's fine. Let's go. The timing was perfect on it. It didn't matter. That's okay. It was just loud in my headphones. That's all. I had my headphones up. He hit the button a second too early, and I had my headphones up really loud. It was really loud in my ears.
I'm so sorry. I moved it, got ready.
Yeah. Oh, I keep my headphones kind of. I don't. You lose hearing. When I first started in radio, I'd meet all these old radio guys, and they were all deaf. So, but that was really loud. Boy, oh boy. All right. Is that the only live spot for Joe on the log today? Because if it is, I'll count that for when he's here.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Now, guys, don't forget, it is Medicare open enrollment period. You want to call chapter They'll review your Medicare policy at no charge, no matter where you're located in the United States. They can help you. They cover all 50 states, and they have access to all the over 24,000 Medicare policies that are out there. You know, a lot of insurance companies are leaving Medicare altogether at the end of the year. So even if you're happy with your policy, give them a call and make sure that your policy is still going to be intact. Open enrollment's the only time of year you can make changes to your existing Medicare policy. So you want to call and take care of that. The help is always free, and when you call, you can get a live agent on the line. 805-754-3033. 805-754-3033. They cover the entire United States. 805-754-3033. All right? Free help for your Medicare. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
We're the go-to experts for single-family homes, communities, and condo associations. What sets us apart is our unwavering commitment to customer satisfaction. I've personally implemented systems to ensure you receive the best in customer service and workmanship. Don't miss out on our limited-time offer for a free roof inspection. Call us now at 954-604-4602 or visit us at laportaroofing.com. Trust the experts who have been protecting homes like yours for generations. Again, that number is 954-604-4602.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 49 years of...
All right, we're back. I'm Brian. You know, I was listening to Tom Laporta's son, Mark, on the recorded commercial during the break for Laporta Roofing. He was talking about the free roof inspection. I was talking to one of our listeners on the cruise. Like half the guys on the cruise have roofs from Tom Laporta. Yeah, it's amazing. But one of the guys he had a wet spot on his ceiling. He thought he had a leak in the roof, so he called Laporta Roofing. He called Tom Laporta. They came out for the free roof inspection. It was a leak from his air conditioning drain. Wasn't the roof? Isn't that something? That's amazing. You know, finding honesty in that business is it's a rare thing, but you'll get it with Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing. He's a good MAGA guy, and he will never sell you a roof you do not need. Give him a call or text on his cell phone, 954-604-4602, 954-604-4602, and online, laportaroofing.com. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, how you doing? I'm calling out of Florida.
Okay.
Hey, my name is Red.
Okay, you're on the air, Red. What's on your mind?
Oh, I would just like to say I was just listening to your caller. I mean, everyone is skeptical. Everyone is skeptical about this thing here or what's happening over in Palestine. You know, but all these things are going to really take time because you're talking about generations and generations and generations of hate. You know, it's these things that just take time, and they might not even happen. You might get 10 years, 5 years, and revert back to the same way, even worse.
Yeah, but a lot of lives will not have been lost in that time. You know, I use that President Trump is going to do in Gaza what they did with the Seminole Indian tribe of Florida. We fought wars with the Seminole Nation, okay? The Seminoles are not even indigenous to Florida. They fought them out west and brought them here. Then there were more wars, the Battle of Lake Okeechobee. They used to scalp people. We were killing them. And now look, you'll never find an unhappy Seminole because they're rich from the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. Do you know the Seminoles own Hard Rock? Not just the location here. They own the brand Hard Rock. You know, I mean, they're rich and they're happy. And that's what President Trump's planning for Gaza. Make them rich, they'll be happy.
Yeah, but that's what he's planning for Gaza. It's not what's going to be also accepted.
Well, no, obviously, I'm not stupid. Iran is still there, and they're going to cause problems, and there's always going to be fanatics. It's not going to. But you know, you got to start somewhere. You just can't say, well, it's not going to be perfect, so let's do nothing.
Absolutely. So, you know, it's just like this country. We looked at the long history between colonialism, black history, Hispanic history, and what's being fed. What's being fed to these children? As we can see in Palestine,
These children are being indoctrinated by Hamas. You have to.
I mean, look at how liberals indoctrinate black people in this country to be angry, right, all the time. That's what they do with the Palestinians. They make them angry. They blame the Jews. The Democrats make young blacks angry at Whitey in this country, right? That's what Jasmine Crockett's doing. She's on a whole hate Whitey tour, right? I mean,
And it's going on with other groups also. Other racial groups also, customs, history, you know.
Well, I study history, I read about history, but I don't live in the past. I live in the now.
I gotta live in the past and the now because
Why?
you don't know. If you don't know the history, you're gonna repeat the same thing.
Don't know about that.
Well, possibly more or less, yeah, you do.
All right, now your name's Red. Are you black or white?
Oh, I'm both.
Oh, you're biracial?
Yeah, call it.
You know, I've known a lot of Reds in my life. They're all black guys. I don't know why that is. Why is that?
Because we're red.
Oh, okay. I guess so. I guess so. You answered the big question of the day. All right, Red, take care. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. How are you?
All right.
Hey, I want to say something about this Israel Gaza thing. Those people are never going to stop fighting. Those people never going to stop fighting. I hope they do, but they're not because they're used to fighting. And Bibi is trying to stay out of jail, and he doesn't respect Trump. So maybe Trump can do something. I hope really he can do something, but people ain't gonna never stop fighting. Never stop.
What makes you say that? There's always going to be. I mean, look in this country, right? You've got these poison people like Joy Reid that are always preaching racial hatred and stirring up blacks to hate white people and hate this country. So you know she's a fanatic. Like you're gonna have yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
I'm black, African American.
I know you are.
I don't hate you. I don't hate white people. I don't hate none of y'all. But you need to think about the history. When our people were beaten, our women were raped. That's why some people have that attitude, which is we shouldn't blame people now for what happened. But they got some people still believing that black people are just no good. Your daughter is half black. You think about what they think about your daughter. Yeah, she's no good. She's worthless.
Who thinks that?
Some of your people.
White people? White people?
Some white people.
No. You know, let me tell you. When I was a kid and I first moved to Florida, right? Was 1982. And at that point, you still had these old Democrats here in Florida that grew up during segregation. There was a lot of racism, white towards blacks. All right, and there were and here in South Florida, black people couldn't go out at night in a lot of the places where I lived. Okay, but that's over now. I've seen that all disappear. The racism in this country, right? If you put all racism into one pot, you got 100%. 99% of the racism is black towards white today. 99% of it. Yeah, it is. Sure, it is. Sure. When's the last time a white person has discriminated and hated on you?
Ron, y'all so good at it. Some white people are so good at it to where you got to really.
Come on.
They're so good at it. And that's all I'm going to say.
Oh, is this that dog whistle crap? So you can't think of an example?
Right, Ryan, you know what, Brian? I'm not going to argue with you. Stuart.
Yes. Yeah, all right.
You have a good day.
Has it not occurred to you that you can't think of an example because it hasn't happened to you?
Yeah, it has, Brian.
Then tell me about it. Then tell me the last time. Why not? You don't want to make me look stupid? Tell me the last time you dealt with racism from a white person.
Because I'm going to tell you, I work at a petrochemical plant. Our union is predominantly black. We went up for a pay raise. They didn't give us the pay raise because our union is black. The union is white people own it. and they figure we don't deserve it because
No, that's economics. The boss never wants to pay more than they have to. No, that's not racism. Racism is somebody stops you from doing something because you're black and they're white. Something.
Stop saying Joy Reid is Dragon Cloud for a race. They're not racist.
Joy Reid's not a racist?
No, she's not. She's more racist than you are.
Here you go. Here you go. See what I'm talking about? Yeah. So you can't think other than the boss not wanting to give you a pay raise. Come on, what boss wants to give a pay raise?
I'm not talking about the boss. You know what? I'm not going to even argue with you because you don't see my side.
Well, I just won the argument. That's why. Hey, yeah, I did.
Hey, you have a good day, bro.
Yeah. All right.
Take care of your family, bro.
All right. Take care. Yeah, that's true. All right. If you are on hold, hang in there. I want to talk to you guys about Mike Lindell and My Pillow. You know, thing about My Pillow, yesterday, my wife and I, we washed all our linens and the pillows. And, you know, we wash and dry the pillows. We have all the different My Pillows, right? The classic that started it all, the Giza pillow, the My Pillow 2.0 with the temperature regulating technology. We have every My Pillow there is. And we wash and dry them. And everything, and this goes with the sheets too. Everything Mike Lindell makes is of high quality. And, you know, some of these pillows we've had for a decade. The sheets, I don't know how long they've had the Giza Cotton Dream sheets, but it's been years now. We wash and dry them. I don't know how many times our pillows and Giza sheets have been washed and dried. We do it every week. They still look brand new, like the day we got them. You know, other sheets we've had in the past, you do that, they're shrinking and everything else, wash and dry them. Not the My Pillow sheets. And one thing about the My Pillow sheets, and there's huge deals on everything right now, including the sheets. You know, the sheets, the percale sheets, like it's, let me look at the price real quick, because it's a really super low price. Yeah, the My Pillow sheets, $29.88, any size, any color. That means from twin all the way up to the king sizes and every size in between, just $29.88. There's something about the My Pillow sheets that I used to talk about a lot, but I've gotten so used to it that I haven't talked about it in a while. And I was thinking about this yesterday. My wife and I were making the bed. The fitted sheet on the bottom, on the My Pillow sheets, even after washing them 100 times or more, however many times, fit perfectly on all four corners. You know, every other sheet I've had my entire life, that fitted sheet, I could get the first corner on fine. Then the second corner, okay. The third corner I had to fight with, and that fourth corner I could barely get it over the corner. You get it over the corner just enough using all your strength. You're afraid you're going to tear the sheets, and it's barely on there. And if your fingers slip, you fly across the room, and the knob on the dresser hits you in the back. With the My Pillow sheets, even after washing them literally hundreds of times, the fitted sheet on the bottom, 2 fingers and a thumb, all four corners, no effort every time. That's no other sheets have I had that experience with. So $29.88 with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane at mypillow.com. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879, 1-800-716-4879. Call us on hold, stand by. We'll be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
My name is Dr. Philip Appleton. I'm a chiropractic physician. For 30 years,
If you're on hold, hang in there.
Thousands of patients from bursitis, tendonitis, sciatica, stenosis, neuropathy, tears, post-surgery, pre-surgery, herniated disc, gout, bone on bone. If you can name the pain, most likely I've treated over the years. Most of my practice is laser with...
Oh, I got an itch on my back. I'm going to use the door jamb.
Which rotates constantly around the area, where most lasers do not do that. So if you want to come in for a free consultation, as always here, welcome at Appleton Chiropractic. I'm here 6 days a week. I personally do all the treatment. You can bring your MRIs, you can bring your x-rays, you can bring your CAT scans, whatever you have to bring for me to look at, I would do that free of charge.
Call Dr. Appleton right now for that free consultation. 954-973-0710.
We'll be back shortly.
973-0710. And online, AppletonChiro.com.
This is Steve Kane reminding those of you who are on Medicare, open enrollment is here. There's a lot of changes this year, but don't worry, I've got a solution for you. Do what we do in the Kane household. Call Timmy Clancy at
If you're on hold, hang in there. If you want to call in, the number is toll free and it's pinned in the live chat, guys.
When you need lab work, don't waste hours and hours waiting at the doctor's office or one of those big labs. Go to any lab test now in Boca.
Oh my goodness.
Now in Coral Springs. Their prices are guaranteed to be the lowest you'll find anywhere. No appointment, doctor's order, or prescription is needed. And you're in and out in 15 minutes or less. They offer every lab and blood work your doctor can order. They even have drug testing and STD testing. Take control of your health care and visit any lab test now of Boca and any lab test now of Coral Springs. There's lots of any lab test nows around, but these are the only two advertising on our radio station. So don't use the rest. Only go to any lab test now of Boca and any lab test now of Coral Springs. And make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio.
The St. Ignatius Day Festival is coming up with fun for all ages. Sunday, October 26th at the Cathedral of St. Ignatius, Loyola in Palm Beach Gardens. In addition to great fun for kids, we have great options for tweeners and adults to enjoy. Check out our amazing sweets tent with something for all, or our high-tech golf simulator trailer with fun for seasoned golfers to complete beginners. Basketball, baseball, soccer, and football competitions, plus a cornhole tournament that runs all day. Of course, we have exciting carnival games to test your skill and win great prizes. There will be raffles throughout the day and other fun prizes, so everyone walks away a winner. It's a great day, and we want to see you.
If you're on hold, hang in there.
Ignatius Day Festival, Sunday,
One more commercial, we'll be back.
from noon to 8 p.m. at the Cathedral of St. Ignatius, Loyola, 9999 North Military Trail in Palm Beach Gardens.
When it comes to dental work, there's no one better than Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. But don't just take my word for it. This is Richie the bus driver. He called in on the air to share his experience with Dr. Gupta. Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Richie, Dr. Gupta. I go 139 miles to this guy. I had a broken tooth. He fixed it. It was supposed to be temporary. It lasted 2 years. He put dentures in my mouth that are a lot cheaper than anybody else. And he's excellent and no pain. I recommend this guy. To me, he's the best ever. So I want to get that out of the way.
Listen to Richie the bus driver. Go see Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. 954
All right, here we go. Coming back.
952-4633.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All righty, callers on hold, stand by. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. We're talking about the Gaza Lago plan of President Trump's. He's ended another war. I need you guys' help, though, to make the list of wars that he's ended, because I've lost track of all the wars. And they're giving out the Nobel Peace Prize this week. President Trump should get all of the peace prizes. It should be like that year that Michael Jackson won every People's Choice Award and Grammy and American Music Award when Thriller was out. That's what this should be. President Trump should get every Nobel Peace Prize. I mean, think about all the lives that he's saved. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Mitchell, Gulf Shores, Alabama.
All right, Alabama. What's up?
Yeah, how you doing, man?
I'm doing.
We have another war over. Isn't that great?
It sure is.
Yeah, it's a good deal. Oh, sorry, it's windy out here. I just got done walking down the beach.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but man, yeah, nothing better, man. Trump is doing everything that he can do, and he's the best he can be, you know.
Absolutely.
Shut down.
Yeah, exactly.
Who cares? Yeah, he can do everything he needs to do. So,
that's correct.
Everyone complains about that. I don't get it, you know. Like, people say that people in the military don't get paid or anything. My brother's in the Air Force, and he doesn't complain about it, you know.
It's not payday yet. Payday's on the 15th, and the president said yesterday at the White House he's going to pay them. They're going to get paid.
Well, if you're waiting for payday anyways, you might have a problem.
Most people are waiting. Most people are living paycheck to paycheck, and, you know, that's America.
It happens, yeah.
All right, Alabama. Appreciate the call. Take care. All right, kind of out of stuff to say. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Oh, hey, Doug.
President Trump, the smartest guy I've ever come across. He knows people. He knows money buys everything.
It does.
Over there in Gaza, they are. They used to be, well, we want to take our land back. We don't care how long it takes. But you pay them enough money, and they'll become peaceful. And I'm sure this is going to work out nice. There'll always be a couple of radical wackos like they are here.
Yeah.
But it'll be mostly a peaceful.
So let me ask you, Doug. I had broken earlier the news. Publix announced that open carry will be allowed in the Publix stores here in Florida. Yeah, I haven't seen anyone open. I have carried a little. I haven't open carried with a gun on my belt, but I've done. I would call it open carry light. Like I had a whole, like when I was here at the radio station last week, I had a pistol on. Nobody knew it, but I had my shirt wasn't tucked in, so it was covering it up a little bit. But I didn't have to worry if it was, like I went to the gas station. It was so nice going to the gas station at 4:30 in the morning when these scary people pulled up, and I had no worries because I had my 38, on me. Yeah. So
I've been looking. I haven't seen anybody yet. I'm about to. Now that Publix said it's okay, I think everybody will start, and I'm certainly going to open carry as well.
Absolutely.
But that's the way you got to go, man. The other thing I'd like to say before I go is, I haven't mentioned it yet, but this James Comey going into court like he's getting
Oh, that was disgusting.
Annoying. So annoying. I'm really pissed off at Cash Patel, man.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because let me pull this up because there is an update on that. Let me pull this up. Listen, where is this story? I got a story here. I'll find it and go over it later if I can't find it now. But they're saying that he was given, that there was a clerical, the reason he wasn't perp walked is there was some kind of clerical error and he was given a notice to appear, as opposed to something else. Bullcrap. This is what I was saying. I will never criticize or disagree with President Trump, but Pam Bondi sucks. I don't care. She sucks. She doesn't arrest people. Comey basically arrested himself yesterday and then came out and said, F you very much when he left. Come on.
Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. And meanwhile, at 4 o'clock in the morning, they come and lock up people on our side. Nothing.
Who did nothing wrong, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. For nothing wrong. Yeah.
Kristi Noem. She's out there, man. We were talking about her yesterday. She's out there doing it, and Pam Bondi, I don't see any action.
Maybe Pam Bondi is not as bad, but Cash Patel, he's the guy who's supposed to be one arresting people, and he's just letting it go. I mean, we're supposed to be the adults and do it the right way, but,
A lot of people say he's afraid. I saw those young journalists yesterday about Antifa. I think every single one, the one girl had a black eye. Did you see the girl sitting next to Jack Posobiec? She had a black eye that Antifa gave her. And Comey should have been taken there in cuffs.
Without a doubt, cuffs. 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
They could put leg shackles on people, but not on him. What he did, he deserves to be really not be treated like he was treated.
No.
He should have been everything they did to our side should have been done to him at least at one time. Maybe we want to be the nice guys and show how it should be done, but
that was a joke. He was running the joint yesterday, Comey. It was an embarrassment. It was really an embarrassment. I've seen people go to traffic court that were more fearful than that.
I mean, not only did you see the judge's face, judge's like loving look on his face, like this smiling.
Oh, Jim, how you doing? It was just at your house on Sunday for that barbecue. I know, it's a joke.
A joke, man.
Yeah. It's a joke.
I'm telling you.
All right, I got to run, Doug. Take care. Got to run. If you're on hold, stand by. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll take our break for the top of the hour. Come back with your calls. More to come right after this.
106.9 FM, Boca Raton on 95.3 FM, West Palm Beach on 95.9 FM, and in Martin County on 106.9 FM. We are South Florida's home for the true oldies channel. From the all-year cooling weather center, South Florida's #1 choice for same-day AC service and installation. Here's your oldies forecast.
Today showers are likely and then thunderstorms, and then it will be breezy with a high of 83 degrees. Into the evening, thunderstorms likely, and it will be breezy with a low of 77 degrees. On Friday, expect heavy rain with a high of 83.
Not tired of winning. Never will be tired of winning.
Heavy rain with a low of 76 degrees.
Weather brought to you by All Year Cooling. Enjoy free AC replacement estimates along with same-day service and installation. Visit All Year Cooling.
Does Barry call in today?
Service today. And remember, the All Year family is here to serve your family all year long. And now, a true oldies traffic check.
No.
Oh, okay.
It's a Barry, right?
Yeah, so let's try to... What's the break look like at 8:30? Is there anything we can move around?
Construction on Boynton Beach Boulevard from 441 to Lyons Road. Spot something on the roads.
No, we
follow
can't.
the traffic
Well, what's at 8:15?
Down 250 keyword West Palm traffic. I'm Ron Hersey.
They use their front of time ways to the bottom.
Yeah, we can't move it. Those got to run.
Yeah.
And then at 8:45.
Well, it's nowhere. Yeah, that's right.
Why don't you do... Let's take at least one of those 8:30 spots and put it at... Like, I'll go to the break for the Gold Report and then run it. Yeah, do the La Porta. Run that at 8:45 and then... Yeah. Yeah, that's a short one. By the way, there's one friendly tire with my voice we have to cut because the price is wrong. We got to run the run with him.
Okay, so just
I heard the price. Yeah, the price is wrong. Just run the run with him. Yeah. I got to cut a new one. Huh? Yeah. Just we'll be back shortly.
Tom Laporta here from Laporta Roofing. Homeowners, condo associations, and HOA.
Gaza Lago. That's right.
Their insurance companies to replace their roofs or lose coverage. We perform a full evaluation of your roofs, test the conditions.
I'll be back at my studio tomorrow.
Repairs, set maintenance schedules, and write letters to your insurance companies. We are also state of Florida general contractors, which carry a lot of weight when dealing with insurance companies. We recently had a property management company call us to evaluate 2 multi-story condo buildings. Each were in aging condition. We performed a full evaluation, built a case with focused repairs and maintenance that the roofs had up to 5 years left. The insurance companies granted the associations additional time. Homeowners, condo, and HOA associations, give me a call at 954-604-4602 to set up an evaluation so we can help you with your insurance company. That number again is 954-604-4602 or find us at laportaroofing.com.
Hello, this is Mike at Friendly Tire. I've been doing this 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used tires.
ICE getting paid more than vets? Well, a vet is a retired military person, and ICE is working full time. So you may when you retire, you don't get your full pay. You usually get like 3/4 and things like that.
New and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Alrighty, we are back. I'm Brian, the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. Celebrating 49 years on the radio. We're talking about this great peace deal. I'll take a call or two, then we'll get into some stuff. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. This is Jessica. How you doing?
All right, Jessica.
Well, I have two things to talk to you about this morning. The first one, which is important to everybody, aside from the Israel and Palestine conflict, is the resolution that the Democrats wanted to pass in the Senate last night against President Trump, which is the one that stops Trump's fight against the cartels. You know that Trump has a military complex in the Caribbean, and the U.S. military has been fighting the cartels by, taking out these boats that are coming to the United States filled with fentanyl. Well, Democrats wanted to stop Trump from doing that. And it makes you wonder why Democrats are, supporting the cartels. Why they want the drugs to continue coming into the United States and continue killing thousands and hundreds of thousands of UN Americans. And that happened last night in the Senate. Democrats voted 48 of them to stop Trump to continuing fight against the cartels. Brian.
Yeah, that's right, because they're probably on the take, right?
They probably on the side of Maduro. They're probably on the side of Petro in Colombia. And that speaks highly of President Trump that wants to continue the fight. There's hundreds of thousands of young Americans.
I want you to think about that. Who would be against ending the drug trafficking? And I'm not a junkie, okay? So I don't know, but my guess is that the illegal drug prices have had to, there's had to been some hardcore inflation. Weed's basically legal everywhere and people grow it, but the illegal drugs that are brought into the prices have had to go through the roof because they've got to be in a much shorter supply. They're almost impossible to get into the country now.
Yes, and these drugs are the ones that are killing our young people, Brian. Fentanyl was killing 100,000 Americans per year. And it makes you think, why are Democrats on the side of Maduro and Petro in Colombia? Why do they want to stop these boats from not coming into the United States? It makes you wonder. These Democrats are the party of evil.
That's correct.
Brian.
No, they are.
And on the side of Israel, the other caller said, everybody's very skeptical about this. Yes, I support Trump's action of wanting to stop, the hate.
Listen, it's not going to stop it. Look how long the insurgency went on. And listen, the insurgency in Iraq went on for years. A lot of people don't know this. When World War II ended, there were German insurgents way up until the mid to late 50s that were Nazis. The ex-army German were committing terrorist acts inside West Germany into the mid to late 1950s. When these wars end, they're not just over.
No, they're not. And remember, Brian, we are fighting evil because the Muslims, that they're very open. They openly saying that they want to take over the United States and they want the United States to fall.
That's correct. Yeah, that's true. Listen. There's an Islamic takeover taking place in this country. Michigan, Minnesota. They're trying to do it in New York right now with Zohan.
Texas and parts of Texas.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're right.
We got to be vigilant with that. I applaud President Trump for trying to do something about that, but I'm very skeptical about it because Muslims have been for years wanting to take over the country.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, take care. Now, I appreciate the call. Now, before we get back to the Gaza Lago stuff, which is all great, I want to talk. Did you guys catch this Antifa White House meeting yesterday? They brought in, President Trump brought in, he had Pam Bondi and Kristi Noem and Stephen Miller and Susie Wiles and some others there. But he brought in these young, mainly Gen Z and millennial citizen journalists that have been covering Antifa. And some of them are pretty well known. Some of them I've met, a couple of them I know a little bit. Jack Posobiec, Savannah Hernandez is with Turning Point. I've met her and a couple of them, but they all cover Antifa. And the mainstream legacy media, they have no shame. They're sick, twisted people. These are real journalists. And you saw, I mentioned this earlier to a call in the first hour. There was one girl who's one of the journalists that was sitting next to Jack Posobiec. She's got a big old black eye that Antifa gave her. And she said that she's been going undercover for 10 years with Antifa. And a lot of these young people have been 10 years undercover or covering Antifa. I didn't realize that it was that bad. And it was pretty scary. And what we saw at that meeting yesterday, which was really amazing. You know, we talk about how transparent the Trump administration is. This was insanely transparent. They all told these stories. They were having these discussions. And then we saw the president give orders as president right there. There was one guy, he was sitting to Trump's right, like the left side of our TV screens and stuff. And he was naming names of the financiers of Antifa. And President Trump, give that name to Pam. Give that name to Pam. Well, hopefully she'll do better with that name than she did with the name of James Comey. But one of them towards the end said, oh, by the way, Mr. President, you know, you really should consider putting Antifa International on the U.S. terror watch list. And President Trump, he said, should we do that? And he said, yeah. And he said, okay, do it. And he gave an order to Marco Rubio to put Antifa International on the U.S. terror watch list. That kid asked a question and made foreign policy. That was an amazing thing. But, you know, this thing with Antifa, they're bigger and more dangerous than you realize. You know, a lot of these young lunatics that call me, the ones that are nuts, some of those guys, some of them are Antifa that call the program. They are. They're scary. You hear the anger. And those citizen journalists that were there yesterday at the White House, they were all meeting with Homeland Security and they're working with them, giving them their information. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, you know, all those journalists are on a hit list now. You know that, right? They're all on a hit list by Antifa. Antifa is very dangerous, right? I mean, they're very, very dangerous. But I was wondering, why has Antifa spent 10 years trashing their own city, Portland? Remember, there was one of the reporters was the woman who said she used to have Trump derangement syndrome. She was sitting at the end of the table on the side that Jack Posobiec was on, and she was a local television news reporter who had TDS, she said, and she was like pro-Antifa, and then she saw what they were all about. She was getting attacked, and she was on their side. So why has Antifa spent 10 years trashing their own city? And then I realized it afterwards. Now, right now, what's going on right now is because ICE is in full core deportation mode. You know, the president's deported 2.2 million illegals. That's about a tenth of them that Biden brought in. That's a lot of deportations. That's how many they've processed. And millions more have self-deported because they got to go, you know, all that stuff. But anyway, they're active there now because ICE is going full steam ahead with the deportation. But I was surprised that they've been there so violent for 10 years. And then I realized when I was thinking about it, Portland is Antifa's boot camp and training center. Portland is to Antifa what Quantico is to the CIA or Parris Island is to the Marine Corps. It's like their boot camp. It's their training center. So they recruit them, and you hear these young people that call me, you know, there's a lot of anger. They train them in Portland, and then they move them around the country. Or they send them to areas when they want to cause problems. I looked at the clock. Let me take the break on time, even though I'm already late for the break, and then I'll finish my thought after this. I've got the camera set up for YouTube blocking the clock. I can't see the seconds. All right, it's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. We'll take a quick break and be right back.
The sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Hey, it's Scott on the radio, reminding you that your favorite oldies are back on the air right after 8 a.m. this morning.
Oh, man. I'm pretty tired today. I had a rough evening of crap I had to take care of. I've been up a long time.
I've seen thousands and thousands of patients in my career. I've been a chiropractic physician here in Pompano Beach for 40 years. We're open 6 days a week. If you have sciatica, you have bursitis, you have tendonitis, you're tired of taking the pills, the drugs, the injections, and you heard that you have to live with it, well, there's a lot of times you don't have to live with it. I've had great success with helping people. My testimonials are marvelous with patients. They love the treatment. There's no injections. There's no medication. There's no surgery. There's none of that. It's strictly either the laser, the acupuncture I do, or shockwave therapy I do. Open 6 days a week. Come in for the free consultation and be willing to look at you and help you.
Take advantage of that no-charge consultation with Dr. Appleton. Remember, appointments are not necessary and walk-ins are welcome even on Saturdays. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com.
Are you a family caregiver of a loved one living with Alzheimer's or a related dementia?
If you're on hold, hang in there. We'll be back in a minute. Tomorrow I'll be back in my studio at the radio station today. The weather sucks today. I just opened up the blinds. It is like nighttime out there. I was going to ride the MAGA scooter today. I'm glad I didn't.
904-620-HLAB. That's 904-620-4522. Join us in deepening our understanding of the caregiver experience.
All right.
Now back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at True Oldies FL.
Alrighty, we're back. I'm Brian. It's Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Calls on will stand by. Okay, so let me pick up where I left off. So anyway, I was listening to these very brave citizen journalists who have nothing but iPhones in most instances, and they're getting their butts kicked by Antifa for years. They've been, 10 years of this. And a lot of them, at least 3 of them were from Portland. At least 3, right? We had the girl with the black eye. She said she's been covering Antifa in Portland for a decade. The girl at the end used to be a local TV reporter. That Andy, whose last name I don't know how to pronounce, he's from Portland. And then there was that other guy. So at least 4 of them were from Portland, covering Antifa for a decade. So what's going on here, right? And why are they tearing up their own city? And what I was saying before the break, and then I want to finish this, I think it's an important point. Then I got something I want to hit on before I go back to the calls that back this up. So why are they burning down their own city for a decade? Well, right now, of course, they're active because ICE is doing a lot of deportations in Portland. But that's new. And then I realized, as I was thinking about this, is Portland is their training center. I mentioned this earlier. Portland is to Antifa what Parris Island is to the Marine Corps. Portland is to Antifa what Quantico is to the CIA, right? It's their training facility. So they train them there. They recruit them. They train them there. It's like if you're going to become like a store manager, if you're going to become a franchisee at McDonald's, you got to go to their hamburger college, right? Or I think, do they still do that at the Apple store? If you work at the Apple store, they used to send you to like Seattle to learn about Apple. I don't know if they still do that. So then they train them there, and then they set them loose around the country. I'll give you an example in the news just today. The California fires, another left-wing terrorist. This is, the Palisades fire. Gateway Pundit, more left-wing terrorism, Palisades arsonist, who's described as an Uber driver in most news accounts. Left-wing terrorism, Palisades arsonist, donated to Biden and Kamala, another liberal. Federal prosecutors on Wednesday announced that the 29-year-old from Orlando, Florida, was arrested for intentionally setting the Palisades fire. You know how hard it is to set a fire that's going to spread, even if you're in a place like that? It's not easy to do. He was an Uber driver at the time that he intentionally set the fire. And this is the fire that destroyed people's lives, took their homes, but also a lot of people died. 12 people died, and it's estimated $150 billion in damage. That's an Antifa guy. Now, a lot of them may not know they're Antifa, or they may be with another organization, but it all comes from Antifa. It's all the same. It's all the same. Don't you understand? One a few years ago was Charlottesville. And I forget, it's been so long since Charlottesville. Does anyone remember the name of the white supremacist that organized the Charlottesville event? I can't remember his name. That was all fake. The guy that was the front man for the white supremacist, whose name I can't remember, I should have Googled it before I brought it up. It doesn't matter what his name is right now. If anybody remembers, if I see the name in the chat, I'll remember it. But he wasn't a white supremacist or Nazi. He was at the Occupy Wall Street event. He was one of the Occupy Wall Street guys. This came out after the event. You can look this up. We haven't talked about it in a while. That's why I can't remember his name. But he was an Occupy Wall Streeter. That was going on when Obama was president. And then all of a sudden, he's a white supremacist organizing Charlottesville. And there were people after, when the Charlottesville thing, after everything happened, there were people who said, they saw buses, multiple people said they saw buses that the Black Lives Matter people got out of and the white supremacist. They came on separate buses, but they were from the same charter bus company. Antifa and the white supremacist just happened to use the same charter buses. Since when do the white supremacists charter buses? That's what liberals do. They charter buses and bus people in. It was fake. Fake. Now, if you put on a fake white supremacist event, some of the real white supremacists will show up. But what I was talking about at the time, the day after that happened, you can look all this up. I said, I'd like to go up to some of those white supremacists with some spray cleaner and a washcloth and spray those tattoos and wipe them and find out if they're real white supremacist tattoos or if they're like what they do in the movies or henna tattoos. And another thing too, if you go back to Charlottesville, I talked about this at the time, okay? And I've seen this at other events. I'm just pointing out some of the highlights. Some of these other white supremacist events, I always look at the flags. They have Confederate flags, Nazi flags. Almost every time they have square creases all throughout them. They're brand new outside the package. The real white supremacists have those flags hanging on their bedroom wall. They just take the pins out and bring it to the rally. They don't have square creases in them. They're brand new. I first picked that up once. We had a guest in studio when I was new on the air, and he was one of these Afrocentric black racists, and he came in wearing a dashiki, and it had the creases in it. He put it was like a Halloween costume. I don't know, to go to Party City. I don't know where he got the dashiki. But anyway, that Charlottesville rally, that's out of Antifa. You understand what I mean? These things around the country. See, conservatives don't go and have violent protests. And I know they're going to say January 6th. That's all bullcrap. I'm not going to explain that every day. We know what happened and what didn't happen. And we know the fake news is put out a bunch of lies about that. But when you see these, like the Patriot Front, a lot of people think they're feds. Maybe, I don't know. I would hope Cash and Bongino would cut that out. But that could be Antifa too. And I was talking earlier this week, when you see the Antifa people unmasked, they're almost always white. I haven't seen a single black Antifa arrested in these Antifa arrests. Now, there may be some outliers somewhere, but I haven't seen it. So these white supremacist things you see around the country, Antifa. It's all Antifa. Or splinters of it. That's the way it is. And you know, all these incidents are staged. They're staged by the left. And I truly hope that Pam Bondi does get to the bottom of it. In particular, you know, one of the reporters yesterday asked the president, I can't remember who they were with. It was one of the real reporters, the real fake news reporters. And they didn't identify themselves. And they said, you know, talking about the financiers, and President Trump said, well, it would put a lot of them out of business if we cut off the money. Yeah. Whoever's financing this. But these, professional agitators, they're called. These are professional people. I've seen, you know, I first picked up on this during the 2000 recount here in Florida. And that was a real exciting time. President Bush won by like 150 votes or something. And I went to the vote counting room every day, and it moved. They were counting ballots in Palm Beach, but I was living in Plantation at the time in Broward, and they were counting the ballots at the Broward County Governmental Center next to the public library on Pine Island Road and Broward Boulevard. And I went there every day. You could go in the vote counting room, and I met everybody. And that's why I got on so much television. I got on Fox, I got on ABC News, and I've mentioned this many times. I've seen some retrospects, even on the History Channel, and saw myself in the back. Nobody would know it was me but me. But there was one clip of me and this black lady arguing. I've seen that a few times, like on the History Channel. I couldn't believe it. But anyway, they moved the ballot counting to the Broward County Courthouse. And I got off the air and I went right there. And buses pulled up with all the fake protesters. And that was the first time I saw the fake protesters. There was just recently, I went to if you go on my ex, Brian Craig Show, you can see this video. I couldn't post this up anywhere else because the liberals are so vile. I couldn't post this anywhere else. I went to the No Kings event on Fort Lauderdale Beach a few months ago. Remember that thing? And I didn't wear my MAGA hat. And I went around and interviewed the people. And I asked them all the same question. Tell me about your sign. First guy, he didn't even know what sign the sign said he was holding. They were fake people. I was there with Dan. Dan was with me, who goes on our cruises. And we were like the only straight guys there. I think they probably thought we were a couple. But a happy gay couple in Fort Lauderdale. But on that video, and you can find this if you go to my ex, Brian Craig Show, I posted this at the time. And I showed on the video the box of the fake signs. They had it kind of hidden. You know that wall that goes along Fort Lauderdale Beach? On the beach side, on the sand side, I walked back there. They thought I was with them. I didn't have my MAGA hat on, And I had a handheld microphone with my vlogging camera, so they thought I was like with the TV or something, But I went behind the beach wall, and there was a whole box there of the fake signs that were made. You remember President Trump was talking yesterday that the signs are expensive signs and they're made. I found the box of the signs. I showed it on the camera. All these protests, none of them are organic. They're all fake. And George Soros, they like to blame George Soros for everything. And I'm not saying he's not responsible for a lot of it, but he's a boogeyman. There's a lot of other people that are pouring a lot more money that we don't know the names of. Some of them were mentioned yesterday by those reporters at the White House. All of these things are fake. None of it is organic. All right, let's. If you're on hold, hang in there. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. We'll be right back.
Making morning radio great again. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Hey, it's Scott on the radio.
All right.
You that your favorite oldies are back on the air right after 10 a.m. this morning on the True Oldies channel.
From the all-year cooling weather center, South Florida's #1 choice for same-day AC service and installation. Here's your oldies forecast.
Showers are likely and thunderstorms in the will be breezy with a high of 83 degrees. Thunderstorms likely and will be breezy with a low of 77 degrees. On Friday, expect heavy rain with a high of 81 degrees. And into the evening on Friday, more heavy rain with a low of 76 degrees.
Weather brought to you by All Year Cooling. Enjoy free AC replacement estimates along with same-day service and installation. Visit allyearcooling.com to schedule your service today. And remember, the All Year family is here to serve your family all year long. And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
I don't know if you guys can see, I'm wearing, my wife got me this Trump belt. Can you guys see it? It says Trump on the side. Here, I'll take it off and show you guys. Maybe it'll be easier to show on the camera if I take it off. This is a really, my wife got me this belt because I lost all this weight. I needed a new belt. This is from the official Trump store. Is this not a cool belt? It is really nice belt. I love this belt.
Hey, Brian Craig here. You hear me talk with attorney Barry Siegel every day about how we can help you and your family. Now here's one of our listeners, Frances, sharing her experience of how attorney Barry Siegel made a difference in her life and took a weight off her shoulders.
I was really looking for something to help me secure my holdings, which is
It is nice. It's a great belt.
Barry Siegel, the attorney. I gave them a call, and immediately they were so kind. They were so nice. They assured me that they could help. I went over there, and they sat with me, and we went over everything. And I ended up with this wonderful trust for my two daughters. So if something does happen to me, things just turn over to them, and it'll make it so much easier for them. And it took a great load off of my mind as to how I would take care of my two daughters. I was very pleased with the attorney Barry Siegel. Finding him helped me assure that my two daughters will be well taken care of in the event that I won't be here.
Give attorney Barry Siegel a call right now. Toll free 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. And online, SiegelLawGroup.com.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating.
All righty. We're back. I'm Brian Craig. Calls on hold, stand by. You know, you guys can't see on the radio. You guys watching online. I'm doing something I did not do for years. I have my shirt tucked in, and you know, because I've lost all this weight with Coastal Weight Loss Secrets help, of course. And I'm if you look, I'm here at the radio station today, and I got a different camera. I'm using a different camera that I would normally use on YouTube. So it's kind of on a profile. So those of you guys that are watching me online, you can see, go back and watch a video of me from like 9 months ago and look at my chin and my jaw, and then look at today on my profile. You'll see a completely different person. Do you know what the first thing somebody said to me that had not, like my wife, she noticed I was losing weight and all, but she saw me every day. But somebody here from the radio station, you know what the first thing they said to me? You look younger. Yeah, I do look younger since I've lost all that weight. I have my shirt tucked in. I didn't tuck my shirts in because I was trying to cover up my belly, I guess. I didn't tell myself that, but that's what I was doing. And I'm wearing a new belt. My wife got me a new belt because the other belt, I put so many holes in it, it was starting to go around my body again. I'm not kidding. I lost so much weight, my belt was starting to go around my body again. And the belt I'm wearing now is a Trump belt. It says Trump on the side. It's a nice belt from the official Trump store. But my results are typical. You know, I met somebody yesterday that, well, a local celebrity. I'm not going to say who, but I had I had a meeting at a Starbucks yesterday, and with somebody that a lot of you in the audience would know if I said the name for sure. They asked me this question. This is the most common question I get after people tell me how much younger I look, how much weight I've lost. What's the secret? Well, you got to call Coastal Weight Loss Secrets, set up your no-charge consultation, and Dr. Zuckerman will tell you the secret. Give him a call, 561-247-6300, 561-247-6300, and online, coastalweightlosssecret.com. All right, to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian, good morning. It's Greg.
Oh, hey, Greg.
Yeah, listening once again, your true colors show every show. You know, your bullying, your sexism is clearly evident. For example, by the way, Richie's completely on point. You know, this is more of religion and a train of thought. Money is not going to solve a problem at Gaza. By the way, do you know you bring up your Seminole Indian example, right, as how much money they're getting, thousands, you know, figure. And guess what the highest rate of alcoholism in America is, which
is what? With who? With who?
The Indians, the tribes.
Wow, no, hold on. No, slow down. I want to talk about that. When was that study written? 1890? When it used to be illegal to give whiskey to the Indians? Where'd you get that information from?
Indians? The Indians?
That's what they called them back then. Did you ever watch Gunsmoke? You ever watch The Big Valley? That's what they called them on Gunsmoke.
Well, I'm glad I don't watch Gunsmoke.
Really? Gunsmoke is awesome, man. You should watch Gunsmoke. It's a great show. Listen, that whatever alcoholism there is among the Native American tribes, it's not with the Seminoles. They're living life because they're rich.
Give me one famous Seminole that's a huge success story.
What do you mean famous? Everyone.
It's that someone is that taking all that money they have.
Let me tell you. I'm gonna tell you. If you go down to by the Hard Rock Casino, right? They own the Hard Rock Casino here in South Florida is not their big money maker. The big one is in Tampa. I've never seen the one in Tampa. They own the Hard Rock brand. Any Hard Rock you see around the world, they got to pay the Seminole Indian tribe of Florida for that. They own the brand. But no, hold on a second. I am answering your question, but not the way you want it answered, which is the way it's going to be. Over there by the Hard Rock Casino. What the hell is wrong with you? I mean, I understand you've got a lot of mental dysfunctions. You must be. I feel so sorry for your secretary. You must go through secretaries like nobody's business because you're a nasty man. But no, I don't want to know what. I'm going to finish this. There's over there by the Hard Rock Casino. Over there. I do not have employees. Okay, I do not have employees. Exactly. That's right. That's exactly right. I'm too cheap. That's exactly right. You got me there. But the I don't employ anything. Do you know how many millions of dollars a year I generate to the economy through all my different this show and all the other shows I do? Are you kidding me? I generate millions of dollars a year to multiple businesses all over the United States. But anyway, you're not going to get me off track. Over by the Hard Rock Casino down in the Davie Sterling Road area, there's an area that is the reservation where the Indians live, and I well, you know what I mean, the Hollywood Sterling Road area. You know, come on, you're not going to get me on every syllable, but there's a development there that's on the reservation where the Indians live, the Seminole Indians, and I remember going there in the 80s, and it was back then they didn't have the Hard Rock. They had mostly smoke shops, and they had like this crappy casino that was on 441 and like Sterling or something. I can't remember exactly where it was, a long time ago. And the houses looked like crap. They were kind of run down. You go through that same neighborhood now, it's like Steve's neighborhood in Cooper City. They're 2 stories. They've torn down those houses. They live in McMansions. They got luxury cars. The Seminoles are rich, and they're not scalping people anymore.
Houses, which you don't know. I'm sure you did a lengthy research and see exactly who lives there.
Yeah, there's a YouTuber named Paul Santelli who just did a whole story. He's a bald guy that does these deep dive documentaries. He did a whole thing on the Seminole tribe of Florida showing this stuff in the last few months.
My question, tell me one Seminole that's taking that money, that's become like a huge entrepreneur, opened up companies, and that are...
Chief Billy. Billy. Who do you think Chief Billy is?
I have no idea.
He was the chief of the damn tribe, and he expanded them into what they are today. When Chief Billy became the chief, they didn't have this hard rock stuff all over the place like now, and he made them all rich because Chief Billy was a rich guy, was a business guy.
Bully.
I'm a bully. Yes.
You're a sexist.
I'm a sexist. Yes.
A woman. You sound like a woman on menopause. Right? I don't hear you. That's a sexist comment.
So what? What?
Well, it's not appropriate. So what?
What do you mean it's sexist and not appropriate? You're inappropriate.
Yes.
You're inappropriate.
Sure. Oh no, you know what, Brian? I don't say anything inappropriate. You're the one attacking. You're a bully. I don't even know how you reconcile your Christianity with bullying.
It's not my Christianity, Greg.
No, it's your beliefs.
You're not a Christian?
Yes, and I don't attack people.
You do. Is Jesus your savior?
Absolutely.
Well, you're calling me all kinds of names all the time. You called me a sexist. You called me a sexist. You called me a racist a minute ago when we were talking about the Indians. You're telling me that the Indians are alcoholics, and then you call me a racist.
I didn't call you a racist. I never called you a racist. I called you. And I also called you a bully. You bully.
Yeah. So Mr. Christian, you're doing a lot of judging and name calling towards me.
When I hang up this phone, I can guarantee you'll attack me personally. Guarantee you.
Oh, you mean you hope I do? You mean that what you're saying is you're going to keep listening so that when I hang up, you know what Greg is like. I'm going to hang up on you now, and then I'm going to make fun of you. Okay. You got time. The delay. Turn the radio up. This is... You ever watch The Twilight Zone, Mike? You ever see the one with the mannequins? Okay. One of my favorite episodes of The Twilight Zone is the one with the mannequins. And that's how the chronic callers are, like Greg, the lunatics, okay? Remember the mannequins? They come alive. It's like they stole the movie Mannequin from this Twilight Zone episode of Rod Serling's. They come alive at night when there's no customers. Remember that? These chronic callers like Greg, they're mannequins, and they only come alive when we're talking about them or to them. If I'm not talking to them or we're not talking about them on the show, they're a mannequin. But now Greg's alive. Now, when I stop talking about Greg, too, he'll go back to being a mannequin. Oh, my goodness. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. I got to talk about life imaging, FLA. You know, that heart scan I got 2 weeks ago has just been life-changing to me. And, you know, life imaging FLA, they can detect heart disease and even some cancers before someone shows any symptoms using their CT scanners. And the CT scanners there, okay, it is completely open. You're not going into something. You don't have to get undressed. I wore my shirt, I had a button-up shirt and jeans on. I didn't have to take my shoes off, nothing. And I was expecting to have to get into a hospital gown. I'm like, oh man, because I was over there with Scott, you know, from the radio station. I was like, I'm going to get a hospital gown with Scott here with you. You know, you don't have to do any of that. And you know, there have been so many studies that show looking inside the body with CT scans can significantly reduce cancer deaths. So when you're over there for your heart scan, make sure you ask about their cancer screening. All right. Make sure you ask about that. I had that done too. No cancer, nothing. Call them for your free heart scan with just a few minimum requirements. You know, this is an FDA-approved state-of-the-art low-dose CT scanner. Call on your cell phone, dial pound 250, that's pound 250, and say free heart scan. Pound 250 and say free heart scan. They're saving lives every day over there. You know, they're finding out, you know, people are going in there and they're finding out they've got blockage, they've got plaque, they have a cancer. Or you just get peace of mind like I did. And you know, the free heart scan, just a few minimum requirements, is valued at $699. Pound 250 and say free heart scan. That's pound 250 and say free heart scan. We'll be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
It's time to sail into fall with Margaritaville at Sea. Discover why savvy travelers say now is the best time to cruise. Cooler breezes, quieter beaches, and more time to waste away exactly how you want. From award-winning entertainment to the friendliest crew at sea, it's the perfect season to sail without the summer rush. Book now and get up to 80% off extra guests plus free stateroom selection. Don't wait. Claim your escape today at margaritavillasea.com.
Hi, I'm Sloan Smith. We love our Florida sunshine, but our house, definitely not. At All Year, we offer same-day AC and plumbing service and installation. Zero down financing? Yes, all year. Need help today? Yes, all year. Need plumbing help? Yes.
Yeah, it's Brian. What's wrong? Yeah, I got a text like that. I missed your message yesterday. I was like, I got worried. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'll cover. Okay, I get it. It's unusual to hear from you like that, so I thought something happened. Okay. All right. Take care. Appreciate it. All right. Bye. Holy crap.
Loss of balance, muscle twitching, and all would disappear. Lighthouse Medical Center for a free consultation. 754-222-6642. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show.
Oh my goodness! You know, you know how I tell people don't text me anything important during the show. I got a text message from someone during the break, and it was it's somebody I know, a friend of mine. I'm not gonna tell you who or what it was about, but a friend of mine. They never text me, ever text me. They'll call me during normal hours, but I get a text from them about something and somebody, like, I don't know, they texted me like 8-9 minutes ago while I was talking to that idiot, Greg, too. And they were texting me about somebody and something. They didn't tell me what it was about, and I thought somebody had died. You know what I mean? You get these weird texts in the night, and I call them like, it's all good, it's all good. I'm like, okay, I thought something happened. I should not check my text messages when I'm on the air. I just should not. All right. Let's go back to the phones. Let me see here. This guy's been holding for a while. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, I'm Christopher. I'm calling from Kentucky.
Okay.
Yeah, so I guess like I can't say I'm a fan of the show. I don't listen to radio all that much, but I was just listening for maybe the past 30 minutes or so. And I guess like look, I'm not very
smart. Yes.
Politically partisan, I'd say. I'm not trying to criticize you, man. I'm not very politically partisan, I'd say. I don't really often lean one way more than the other. I've always considered myself kind of dispositionally conservative.
Yes.
What I was going to ask you is that you kind of feel good about some of the way you're talking, like about the country. Like you're talking about the country like, oh, the left-wing terrorists and this and that and Antifa.
Well, yeah, we had a left-wing guy set these fires in California. They killed 12 people, caused $150 billion in damage. By the way, what is Kentucky best known for? What are they known as?
Kentucky, like the Kentucky Derby. I don't know. Chicken. Like I'm not like very tuned into
Kentucky. Well, where are you really calling from then? Why are you saying you're from Kentucky?
That's where I am right now.
Please, the Kentucky Derby. If I asked someone from Kentucky what Kentucky is known as, they wouldn't say chicken in the Kentucky Derby.
Like I'm living in Kentucky right now to go to college. I'm not.
How long have you been in Kentucky?
Long, like a year.
Oh yeah, where are you really from?
Where am I really from? Well, I'm a U.S. citizen. I was in Missouri for a year, but I was born.
Missouri. Kentucky is the bluegrass state. Okay, I knew by the way you were talking you weren't a Kentuckian, you know.
Trying to claim to be one. My apologies.
No, you said I'm from Kentucky. Okay, no. You say I talk about left-wing terrorists. Okay, a left-wing guy was just arrested yesterday from starting the California fires in the Palisades in Malibu. 12 people killed, $150 billion in damage. A left-wing gay guy assassinated Charlie Kirk. A left-wing guy shot up the ICE station in Dallas, shooting some illegal aliens when he was trying to shoot ICE. Liberals every night have been attacking the ICE facility in Portland for over 100 nights in a row. The list goes on. So yeah, liberals are on a terror spree right now.
This is like my problem, right? Like, yeah, I don't think anyone can deny, especially in the last 2 years, especially, that there's been like genuine left-wing violence in America. Like that's I think that's on everyone's radar if you just read the news. But I think just to say that it's like a one-sided thing and like say like liberals, that's like half the country, dude.
Who's the founder of Kentucky Fried Chicken? You're in Kentucky.
Colonel Sanders?
I'm asking you. You're asking me.
Yeah, Colonel Sanders is.
Really? Do you know what his first name is? What branch of the service was he in?
I don't.
Okay, you don't know. Okay, you know a little bit. You know Colonel Sanders. You know a little bit about Kentucky that everybody knows. You know, listen. You look at all this violence. It's trans Tifa, Antifa, left-wing violence everywhere.
So yeah, there's violence from left-wing people certainly, but it's also right-wing violence, and I think
where's the right-wing violence?
See, if you don't think if it's real, if it's all a conspiracy,
where's the right-wing violence? Where's the MAGA violence?
I think the crazy guy who was maybe a little bit right-wing, maybe a little bit left-wing, he was probably just a lunatic who like shot those lawmakers.
No, he was a Democrat.
Yeah, but like.
Yeah, but where's the MAGA? Where's the MAGA violence? Where's the MAGA violence?
January.
Well, first of all, I know that's your go-to. That was like over 4 years ago. Okay, and you're. Yeah, the biggest what?
Aggressive with me. It was one of the biggest acts of political violence in recent.
Really? Who was killed there that day?
No one was killed.
No. Someone was killed. One person was killed.
Yeah, one of the.
Ashley Babbitt was murdered by the cop. Yeah. Who did the MAGA people kill that day?
If a violent Antifa protest.
Hold on. Who did the MAGA people kill that day?
MAGA people didn't kill anyone.
There you go. But liberals are killing people all over the place. No, that was an Antifa event. January 6th was an Antifa event.
So I'm not trying to fight with you. You seem like you want to fight with me. I am trying to give an olive branch here. I agree with you that left-wing violence can be a problem. All I'm trying to say is that when half the country identifies, as like politically liberal or things like that, calling like all.
Half the country does not. No. President Trump a year ago won the national election, every battleground state, and he won the popular vote. So no, we have more than 50% on Trump's side.
Hold on. Damn it, my fucking alarm.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
Hello, you still there?
Yeah, no, hold on. I lost okay. I hit the delay just in time. I got it. He said the thing. Oh my goodness. I got the delay just in time. I was calling somebody as he said it. So I had to, I was calling Ian from Cruise and Travel Depot when he dropped the bomb. So I was a little off on the delay there, but I got it just in time. Oh my goodness. Okay. I forgot what line he's on though. Let me see here. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Patty from New Jersey.
Hey, Patty. All right.
So I don't have a whole lot to say, but I really need to dunk on these lefties. First of all, Mr. Greg, Mr. Drunk Indian guy.
Yes.
Calls you a sexist, but then turns around and tells you you're like a woman on menopause. What does that mean, Greg?
No. I said that. No, I said that to
He said that to
Ian, hold
you.
on. No, he was okay, I got it. He was quoting me when I was talking to Rich. Richie called in hysterical this morning over the Trump ending this war, and I said, "You sound like a woman on menopause." I said to Richie. He was quoting me.
Oh, he's just these people.
But you would own that. Women going through menopause can get angry, right? They get moody and lash out.
I know. Yes, absolutely. But you know what? They have nothing worthwhile to say, and it drives me insane trying to come up with a reason why, if they're so left and they're so against us, why do they even listen to your show? Because they're looking to get on the air and to spout their garbage. They're never gonna win, so they should just stop embarrassing.
No, it's always been that way. About half the people that listen close to are always been haters. I mean, some of my biggest fans hate me. You know, my wife hated me before we met. She was a listener. She hated me. She used to hate me on the air. Yeah. Now we've been married 29 years, so I hope she loves me now. Most. Well, these I like them. Thank you very much. But that last caller from Kentucky, who's not from Kentucky, right? He just doesn't get it. Their go-to was always going to be January 6th. I'm so tired of talking about that. Yes.
The typical boy today.
Yes.
Hear in his voice that he's just light in his low. Doesn't have a clue about reality, and he's trying to get it.
Correct.
Olive branch. The only olive branch they can send at this point is to stop the violence.
Yes.
Everything that happened on January 6th.
Listen, January 6th was a government operation working with Antifa. Nothing. Listen, the day of the event, that guy that broke the glass on the front door of the Capitol is Antifa. I promise you. That was it. He looked.
Antifa, or he was.
He was. Go back and watch the video. Well, we know there were 270 plus FBI agents in the crowd, but that guy that was an Antifa move, and he was wearing black.
He had a mask on.
He was in black.
As soon as he saw the camera, he turned around and tried to blame it on the guy who was videotaping.
Yep. Well, listen, I gotta run. But I appreciate we're up against the break, and I have Ian from Cruise and Travel Depot on the line. Ian, I know you can hear me on hold. Hang in there. I'll go to you after the break. I've lost track of time. I was multitasking. I was talking to that liberal jerk, and I was trying to call Ian from Cruise and Travel Depot at the same time, and I got a little discombobulated. All right, callers on hold, stand by. 2 hours down, 1 to go. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show. Florida's longest running radio show. On the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. Our number is toll free, 888-465-2631. We'll be right back. Sorry, Ian, I got Lost track of time. Yeah, I was calling you, and then the guy dropped an F-bomb. So I was on the line. I was dying. You were ringing. It was a mess. I got it cut off. But anyway, so did you get my text though about what I was going to talk to you about? Was what we talked about yesterday? Okay. Hold on.
Showers are likely, and then thunderstorms will be breezy with a high of 80 degrees. Thunderstorms likely, and will be breezy with a low of 77 degrees. On Friday, expect heavy rain with a high of 81 degrees. And into the evening on Friday, more heavy rain with a low of 76 degrees.
Weather brought to you by All Year Cooling. Enjoy free AC replacement estimates along with same-day service and installation. Visit allyearcooling.com to schedule your service today. And remember, the All Year family is here to serve your family all year long. And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
I-95 northbound at Forest Hill Boulevard. An earlier crash now on the left shoulder is still causing a backup starting at Lantana Road. On the turnpike, there is a backup southbound between Lakeworth Road and Boynton Beach Boulevard. Spot something on the roads, call the traffic check line now. Westbound traffic kilometers.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. Sunday, October 12th, PBKC presents South Florida's premier sports card and memorabilia show. Shop amazing vendors, explore a variety of collectibles, and best of all, admission and parking are free. Catch all of the football games on sports TVs.
Oh, I just popped my knees.
Restaurant. Plus, make it a full day with exciting poker, table games, and super OTP action at PBKC. Get all the details at pbkennelclub.com.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve King Show.
All righty, and the countdown has begun. You know, Ian from Cruise and Travel Depot. Hey, Ian, how you doing? You know, I woke up today and I realized we're like, what, 5 months away from our 10th annual MAGA cruise.
Yep.
I didn't realize how close we were.
Yep. It comes fast, doesn't it?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I got to start buying some new clothes because I lost all this weight, you know, from Coastal Weight Loss Secret. But, you know, this is the thing about the cruises. And we you know, Celebrity, we often mention that Celebrity is an upscale luxury cruise line, which it is, even though you're not it costs more to go on some of these so-called budget cruise lines, like Ian can't say, but I'll say Carnival, you know, it's cheaper to go on Celebrity, especially with us with our group pricing. But one thing we don't talk about too much, Ian, and I don't know why we don't, because it's one of the highlights of the cruise. Celebrity Cruise Line has like the best food on the ocean out of the cruise lines. It's very upscale.
Absolutely. I mean, the food budget that Celebrity spends per guest is quite proportionally more than the others.
Yeah, and we're not talking about the specialty restaurants, okay? They certainly have those. We're talking about the regular dining that we do every night. And it's basically a Michelin star quality food every night, included.
Yeah, you really rarely find, contemporary cruise lines. That's what sets it apart and sets it up as a premium and upscale cruise line. I mean, you could have beef Wellington every night on an Edge class ship.
You know, this is what I do. Every night, I order 2 dinners. You can order 12 or 20 if you want, but I order two dinners every night because I get I want the 2 main courses, 2 different main courses. I'll have like beef Wellington and I don't know what else, pork chop. I don't know. But a cool thing is also with Celebrity, they don't have one big main dining room. How many of the main dining rooms are there? Each one's a different theme.
4 main dining rooms. Cyprus is Mediterranean. Normandy is French themed.
Yep.
Tuscan is Northern Italian themed, and Cosmopolitan is global cuisine.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, you can order from any of these restaurants, okay? No matter what dining room you're in. And on the last cruise, everybody at my table, you know, if you're sitting with me, you're at the fun table, okay? At the party, it's always a party with me, okay? We ordered every dessert from every restaurant every night.
I remember the
remember that
trays.
I was having baked Alaska. I mean, I can't remember. We ordered all of us did. It was amazing. And you know what? And you could do that. And it's included. It doesn't cost you 10 cents more.
I remember the beef carpaccio. That dish really stands out. I mean, you can only usually get that at a really fine restaurant locally. You don't see that very.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And you know, listen, this is Ian and I. We haven't been able to announce our shore excursions yet, okay? Because the celebrity changed the destinations for the ship for the whole year, so our ports of call changed. But you've been working overtime on these excursions, and I know what they are, but we just you haven't signed the papers yet, so we can't announce them yet. But these are going to be, I think, some of the best shore excursions we've ever done. And we've got something, I'm not going to tell you which destination, we have got something so super cool that it's going to be a lifetime memory event that we're going to have on one of these excursions, I promise you. Reminding me of back to the Blue Lagoon we went to in Mexico that time. This is going to be one of those kind of days. And we're planning things on board the ship that we've never done before that are going to be a blast. So listen, guys. Oh, and you were able to grab up some more of the group space for the 2019 pricing.
They allotted me some more group space because I whined about the itinerary change.
Yes. Always complain, and then you get something, right? But what they changed the destination, and we're going to my favorite place, San Juan, Puerto Rico. That is my favorite place in the Caribbean. When you told me that they changed the destination, I said, where? You said, well, we're going to San Juan. I said, that's awesome. I can't wait. Call Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot. And, you know, I'm not kidding. I order 2 main courses every night. But you can order 20 if you want. And I'm not exaggerating. At my table, we ordered every dessert from every restaurant every night. Everyone. And you can do that. And you can order the main courses from the other restaurants too. I'm going to give you Ian's number. When you call, if you get his voicemail, leave your name and number and he will call you back. 561-244-5779. One last thing. To be with our group, not only do you have to book through Ian. If you don't book through Ian, you can't hang out with us. I mean, you can't be in our group, but you're going to be paying a lot more. Those of you that are regular cruisers, the reason we don't give out the price is because there's so many variations with the price. It could be the cabin, where on the ship, the day of the week you call. Okay, there's a lot of variations on pricing, but when we say 2019 pricing, we're not kidding. When you call and book in our group, you'll be going for less than anybody else on the ship. All right, 561-244-5779. 561-244-5779. All right, Ian, we'll talk soon. All right, take care. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, good morning, Brian. Chris from Pompano Beach.
Hey, Chris.
Well, I mean, more of the same. I wanted to comment real quick on of course, the black racism. Of course, I'm African American or black, whatever they say these days, and I have the privilege of sitting around a lot of black people that always disrespect and talk about whitey as being their reasons for their failure. You know, not the broken families or not the lack of education or their choices, but whitey. You know, and that's the same thing. Like I said, they do over in Israel, and the Palestinians will blame Jewish and everyone else. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad you mentioned that because that was very prevalent. I mean, I'm 62, and as long as I can remember, since the 70s, black people have been the most racist that I've ever come across.
Oh my goodness! Now, how long have you lived in South Florida?
30 years exactly.
Okay, so it may not. Okay, so it may not be long enough for you, but I've mentioned this before on the air. When I was in high school and I worked in Publix, it was like 86, 87. Okay, and I worked at the Publix on Davie Boulevard, so I wasn't like the one on Boca with the valet. Okay. They didn't have the one in Boca with the valet now, or the one in Palm Beach with the valet, but they didn't have the valets. But And if when black customers came in, the managers would follow them around the store. And these were good old boys that grew up in the 50s and 60s, right? They would follow black people around the store. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I never saw such a thing. That was a long time ago, okay? I mean, we're talking almost 40 years ago. It's almost half a century. That's over. And it's reversed now. Right? It's totally reversed now.
And I'm glad you posed that question to that one caller regarding, it's like, okay, when's the last time you suffered discrimination? And, she couldn't tell you because it's just not true. And
that's right.
And it's just like the religion thing that Richie mentioned. Listen, yeah, you can make all the laws you want, but you can't change a person's heart. So whether it's someone from the past or what they've learned from their parents or what religion they're in, they're going to have to work that out. But, you can't change a person's heart. But that is what President Trump is doing is awesome, and it's a monument.
Well, getting back on topic, because we got, some of these wackadoodle callers, got us away from the main topic today, which was, this peace agreement with Israel and Gaza. And, obviously Hamas is Iran. Everybody knows this. And Iran is always going to be a problem, and there's always going to be terror. But what they've done, what Iran has done, is what the Democrats do with people in this country. They've used the poverty that the Palestinians were living under and through in Gaza to get them angry, rile them up, radicalize them, and blame the Jews for their problems. When they rebuild Gaza and they're living a good modern life and they have no financial worries and their life, and all of a sudden they're driving, expensive cars and such, that anger will go away.
Prices and everything.
Well, it's like with race relations between black and white people were not always what they are now. But I believe in the last 15 years, I believe we've achieved nationally like economic equality. Right? You know what I mean? It took a while, but we have like total economic equality between black and white people. There's still poor black people, poor white people. But there's not only a large black middle class, there's a big black rich class outside of sports and entertainment, like regular people. You know what I mean? So now once you get to that and you don't have an impoverished group, people aren't so pissed off all the time. Poor, people that are poor like to blame people for their problems.
100%. And they're not so easily told and sold like those who are in poverty, and they listen to that nonsense. But like Steve always says, once you have skin in the game, things change. So, great show.
All right. Appreciate the call. All right. Not everybody in the audience is a weirdo, it was too bad that college kid pretending to be a Kentuckian, but from Kentucky, because I wanted to find out where he was going to college, because I get a lot of these young guys like that from Kentucky. There must be some radical leftist college in Kentucky that they go to. I don't know what it is, but I wanted to find out, but I had to let him go because of the language. So I don't know, there's got to be some left-wing place, because we get a lot of them. So after the break, I'll get us back on track a little bit, because I've kind of been all over the place. But, what President Trump did yesterday with the announcement of this peace agreement to end this war with Israel and Gaza, when wars end, they don't really end. I mean, right away. There's going to be problems and fighting. And, there's a lot of people on both sides that don't want peace. And I'll tell you straight up, I don't think Netanyahu wants this peace deal. Okay? I think Netanyahu, I don't know about his legal trouble people keep messing around with, but he's been prime minister off and on since Clinton was president. And he knows this is his last rodeo, and I don't think Netanyahu wanted this peace agreement. I think he wanted to be able to go in there and take Gaza and make it Israel again, okay? But he didn't win out on that one, because President Trump's on the scene, and something different has happened, thankfully so. But there's, and you heard Richie's call in the first hour, there's people on both sides that don't want these wars to end, okay? And a lot of them are going to make sure that things happen. There's still going to be terrorism, okay? There's going to be all kinds of things that go on. It's not going to be, okay, the war's over. It's not going to be like that. But don't let those things get you down, because President Trump has softened things up. This is why he took that plane from, that Air Force One. He has made so many friends in the Middle East that he can get on the phone now and say, hey, come on. And he made this peace agreement with the Middle Eastern countries like Syria agreeing to it and helping him come along with with an agreement that everybody could get along to. Now, Iran, of course, is pissed off. They're always pissed off, and they're not going to go along with anything. And Iran's always going to cause problems and get people to do crazy things. But all in all, this is a really incredible thing. This is like the 7th war, 8th war that he's ended, right? But of course, they're always going to attack him because he's ended every war on the planet except one, the Ukraine-Russian war. And they're gonna call him a failure because he ended 8 wars, not 9. But that, they're always, Trump derangement syndrome. They're always going to be hating on Trump. Now, I want to talk about Dr. Appleton and his laser wave pain treatment. His robotic laser. I've been explaining this a lot lately because it's so important. Usually when I go see Dr. Appleton, I'm just in so much pain. All I want to do is get treated. But the last time I went over there, I went and recorded some new commercials. I just heard one of them a little bit ago. Play. And I was talking to him about how the robotic laser works. And he told me what I saw, but I was in pain at the time, so I didn't pay much attention. But the robotic laser, it moves around the entire area. So it doesn't just treat the spot where the pain is. It treats every angle all the way around, completely around, moves all the way around you. So it's repairing the damage, but from all angles. It's amazing. It's not just some regular laser, it's a robotic laser. And Dr. Appleton's laser wave pain treatment repairs the damage that's causing you the pain. That's why when he's treated me, the pains have not returned. Give him a call and schedule your no-charge free consultation right now, 954-973-0710. Now, appointments are not necessary and walk-ins are welcome. But if you'd like to make an appointment or have questions, give him a call, 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. We'll be right back. All right.
Doctor's order or prescription is needed, and you're in and out in 15 minutes or less. They offer every lab and blood work your doctor can order. They even have drug testing and STD testing. Take control of your health care and visit Any Lab Test Now of Boca and Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. There's lots of Any Lab Test Nows around, but these are the only 2 advertising on our radio station. So don't use the rest. Only go to Any Lab Test Now of Boca and Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. And make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio.
This is Steve Can. I want to tell you about my favorite restaurant in all of South Florida, Wings Plus in Coral Springs. Wings just the way you like them. Plump, tender, and delicious, crispy on the outside, succulent on the inside, everything homemade, nothing comes out of a can. Dozens of specialty sauces that will make your mouth water. Wings Plus, located in Coral Springs, a mile west of University on the south side of Sample Road.
Hey, Brian Craig here. You hear me talk with Attorney Barry Siegel every day about how we can help you and your family. Now here's one of our listeners, Frances, sharing her experience of how Attorney Barry Siegel made a difference in her life and took a weight off her shoulders.
William Youngerman's not calling in today. Do you have a recorded of him? Yeah, play that one. Yeah. Damn it. There we go.
I gave them a call, and immediately they were so kind. They were so nice. They assured me that they could help. I went over there, and they sat with me, and we went over everything training, and I ended up with this wonderful trust for my two daughters. So if something does happen to me, things just turn over to them, and it'll make it so much easier for them. And it took a great load off of my mind as to how I would take care of my two daughters. I was very pleased with the attorney Barry Siegel. Finding him helped me assure that my two daughters will be well taken care of in the event that I won't be here.
Give attorney Barry Siegel a call right now. Toll free 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. And online, SiegelLawGroup.com.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, Harrison Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world.
All right. We are back. I'm Brian. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. If you want to call in, our number's toll free, 888-465-2631. It looks nice out. It's been raining all morning. It looks nice. Okay, so I want to get some audio sound bites here. That meeting that President Trump had with Antifa, those Antifa journalists yesterday, the ones that have been covering Antifa, that was amazing. The one girl that had the black eye and everything else, that she's been undercover with Antifa, one of them gave her a black eye. Crazy. Because it was crazy, and it was a very educational thing. And the mainstream legacy media are there. They don't even want to hear this. They're pissed off that they have to cover it. And then after that, they cut away to Aaron Burnett on CNN, right? And remember, Trump didn't even want to take questions from CNN. He's like, he was asking them, who's the worst out of the media? And they agreed, MSNBC, followed by CNN. But this is Aaron Burnett on CNN talking about Antifa after that White House event yesterday.
In fact, it's not even like far-right groups like the Proud Boys and Oath Keepers, which have had national leaders, unlike Antifa.
Okay, now, there's no leader for Antifa. Okay, the Oath Keepers, I'm glad I played this, because remember I told you that I saw these guys that were wearing like one of the conservative groups that were feds. You could tell they were all in their 40s, no beer bellies. It was the Oath Keepers. The Oath Keeper guys, I saw on Inauguration Day, those guys were feds like, no, I don't care what you tell me. They were feds. You know, it's one of those fake organizations. But anyway, back to CNN right after the Antifa press event yesterday.
In fact, it's not even like far-right groups like the Proud Boys and Oath Keepers, which have had national leaders, unlike Antifa. There is no organized hierarchy to the group, and according to the Center for Strategic and International Studies, compared to right-wing extremists, Antifa-linked violence is rare and limited. But that has not stopped Trump from blaming Antifa for just about every act of violence in America.
Okay, Antifa violence is rare. They have no leaders. They're good guys, you know. And they talk about right-wing violence. Okay. There was another example of left-wing violence, a guy I'm going to play for you in just a moment, that I haven't mentioned today. But we found out that whole California fire was probably Antifa, a leftist. All these other incidents we're talking about, too. You know, you guys know. But this study that they keep citing, about a week ago I went and got that study. You can Google it and look it up. It goes back in time about 35 years back. It's from 35 years ago. They include the Oklahoma City bombing, which was October 19th, 1994, or was it 5? Was Oklahoma City 94 or 5? I don't remember. I remember the 19th because it's the day before my birthday. They count that as right-wing violence. Tim McVeigh was in the KKK. Okay? That's not right-wing. But they're going back in time 30 years. So that would be as if, I remember because the day of the Oklahoma City bombing, I watched, I remember I was in my apartment in Fort Lauderdale. I lived in Fort Lauderdale. I had an apartment then. And I saw Bill Clinton come out with Janet Reno. They're going back so far back in time. Again, he's not a right-winger. Tim McVeigh was KKK, but they classify him as a conservative. Give me a freaking break. And there were 167, I think, died that day. they count Klansmen and white nationalists and white supremacists as Republicans. That's where they go back 30 years. When Bill Clinton came out with Janet Reno and was citing violence from 30 years ago, they would have been talking about 1965. So that study is so bogus. They're counting every Nazi and Klansman that ever lived in that study as a Republican. True Republican violence, they got really nothing in there. Okay, it's 90% plus left wing, easily. And they include things that aren't even violent in there, like January 6th was not a right wing violent incident. But anyway, it's a flawed study. But all these incidents of left wing violence, did you guys catch Judge Jeanine last night on Jesse Waters? Listen to this. This is Judge Jeanine. So we got this left-wing guy that burned down Malibu. $150 billion in damage, 12 people dead, a lot of famous people homeless. This is Judge Jeanine on Jesse Waters last night. Listen to this.
What can you tell us about this man with explosives in a tent next to a church?
Well, actually, Jesse, he was on the steps of the church. It's the Cathedral of St. Matthew the Apostle, which is where the annual Red Mass is held every year, which celebrates the reopening of the Supreme Court, in which routinely and traditionally has Supreme Court justices attend that Mass. There were several who were going to attend, and based upon the actions of this defendant in D.C., they had to cancel those plans. What we're seeing, Jesse, in America today is a rising tide of religious hatred.
Yeah, okay. So they got another guy, a leftist, that had 200 explosive devices. They just got that guy yesterday, Judge Janine's talking about. It's about every day, every other day, they get some left-wing guy who's going to do violence or did it. But they're saying that, oh, the Antifa, it's all on the right. Give me a freaking break. It's nonstop on the left. Even if January 6th was what they said it was, and it wasn't, that was years ago. We're talking about now. Those reporters that were at the White House yesterday, every single one of them had been attacked, beaten, and robbed by Antifa multiple times. Some of them women, not just the one with the black eye, but some of the other women there were 3 women, those young reporters yesterday, all 3 of them have been violently attacked and beaten by Antifa. But CNN, it's few and far between. It's really those right-wingers like Tim McVeigh. Give me a freaking break. Lies and BS. Don't buy any of it. All right, our number is 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. Even though the sky looks nice, I'm looking at the road out there. It is wet. It's been raining all night. It's hurricane season. Don't drive around on bald tires. Go to Friendly Tire. Before I found Friendly Tire, I used to drive around with tires I shouldn't be driving on because tires can be expensive, and they are everywhere else. But Friendly Tire, you can get tires brand new out the door and on the road for as low as $75 a tire. That's right. And those are for common sizes on some of the most popular cars on the road. $75 a tire, brand new tires. That's right. And when I say out the door and on the road, remember, Friendly Tire doesn't charge you to balance the tire, mount your tire, or even dispose of your old tires. He has all the name brands you know and love. And he also has thousands of good used tires in stock as well. Give him a call. He'll give you a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. You know who I see a lot of over there? I see a lot of Uber Eats drivers, Door Dashers, because they go through tires a lot. Friendly Tire, great prices. I see a lot of guys over there that have leases that are running out. They go and get new tires so they don't get dinged by the dealer when they turn the car in. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445 for Friendly Tire in Margate. We'll be right back.
Making morning radio great again. It's the Steve K Show with Brian Craig.
Right
from the all-year cooling weather center, South Florida's #1 choice for same-day AC service and installation. Here's your oldies forecast.
Today showers are likely, and then thunderstorms in the middle will be breezy with a high of 83 degrees. Into the evening, thunderstorms likely and will be breezy with a low of 77 degrees. On Friday, expect heavy rain with a high of 81 degrees. And into the evening on Friday, more heavy rain with a low of 76 degrees.
Weather brought to you by All Year Cooling. Enjoy free AC replacement estimates along with same-day service and installation. Visit allyearcooling.com to schedule your service today. And remember, the All Year family is here to serve your family all year long. And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Hey, how's it going? How's it going? Going, good. How you been?
Doing great. Why complain? Who's going to listen, right?
I thought you forgot about us.
No. I was in the car, and of course I got a phone call as soon as, I was ready to come in.
What, did you want to talk today then instead of tomorrow? Or are you busy today? We can do it next week, because
next week would be better.
Okay, what can we do it Friday next week?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, so Friday after the
Do
show.
you want me to come in Friday?
If you want to come in on that Friday, then we can talk after.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, because it's not a short conversation.
Yeah, we'll have a bagel.
Okay.
Yeah, cool.
You'll like my thoughts.
Awesome. I knew I would.
Well, I don't like to come up with stuff.
Well, I actually tell clients that. I have them come in sometimes. I have a client come in today. This is the third time.
Yeah.
I finally put my thoughts together what I was going to do with them.
Yeah.
It's a big case, And
A lot of guys just want to.
No.
No.
The richest people. I read a book a long time ago called The Millionaire Mindset or something
Yep.
like that. And they said the richest people in the world, before they buy a car, before they make any large purchase, they leave the showroom, they leave.
That's right.
And they come back.
That's
after
right.
They've evaluated it.
Exactly.
We should talk about that today.
We should, yeah. Well, I wanted to ask you a couple things about 401ks too.
Okay, cool. Whatever you want to talk about. We're running around like a nut man, just trying to get all this stuff done.
So next Friday you'll come in, and then afterwards. Okay.
Perfect. I'll tell Jenny to book it with Mike.
Okay. All right. We're back. I'm Brian Steve Kane Show. Joe Thomas here. Hey, Joe.
Hey.
Hey, a couple things. You were telling me something during the break I want to talk about. But before I forget, because I'll forget, I wanted a couple things about 401ks, because I was talking to someone the other day. Okay, and you and I have talked about this before. And, we all know what 401ks are. But, okay, you got your 401k. You leave your job. Maybe you retire, or maybe whatever. What are you supposed to do with your 401k? When you understand what I mean? I've never. What's the end strategy with 401ks?
Well, nobody knows. And the 401k companies don't tell you, because it's called assets under management. So what they want you to do is keep your money there forever, so they get their annual revenue.
Well, that's no good, because you put the money in the 401k so that you can retire or buy a house, or you buy whatever you're putting money away for.
Right.
And so really 401ks are designed for you never to get at your money.
No, they don't want you to get at your money. But the the end result should be this, Brian. It should be an income stream. Because you retired, a 401k is supposed to replace the income stream you're losing from retiring, but nobody talks about that.
Well, a couple things about the 401ks. I think that's a big one, because nobody. It's exactly 401ks are actually a bit of a trap. And then there's another thing about the 401ks. It sounds like, oh, such a good deal. Oh, my boss, he matches, he does this. Mm-hmm. But your employer's making money off of you in fees.
Yeah. It's called revenue sharing. So they get a piece of the action. So let's say you're with Fidelity or Empower, or whoever's managing the money through your 401k. Your boss or your company is getting half the commission, which is about 2% a year. So they're getting 1% of your revenue sharing, to manage your money.
And that's your money. And not only that, it's 1% from everybody.
Forever, as long as you have it there too.
It seems like, it seems like a racket.
Brian, it's big business.
But so anyway, somebody could come to you, they got a 401k, and you could transfer it into an annuity.
Yes.
And you'll handle that. They don't have to go through all the garbage with the
more
human
importantly,
resources.
we can turn their money into an income stream, which is what they want once they turn 65, 67. Well, actually, you don't even have to be 65. You could be 55 if you want to take income from a 401k. You just have to know how, and that's what we do for clients.
Yeah. So that's a good thing to know. Now, the other thing we were talking about during the break was this. You were telling me that because you offer free consultations, which we talk about a lot, and you were telling me about a client you have, and this is the third time you're meeting with them, and you're giving them their proposal. you don't just meet with somebody and say, okay, this is what you should do.
No, so I read a book a long time ago called The Millionaire Mindset, something like that, The Millionaire Maker, whatever it was. And in there they talked about how the people that have money, wealth, they don't make instant decisions about anything with money. They take their time. Before they buy a car, they'll go price it. They'll go out to a couple of, car dealers, and they'll get pricing, and then they'll come back in a week or so and then purchase the car.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with money investments. So this particular client, they're investing over $1 million with me. And I told them, go home, let me do my due diligence, let me work on it for you.
I mean, first, how many guys are going to let $1 million client walk out the door without making a deal? Right?
Because I want to give the client, like I said to you, I want to make sure I do the right thing for the client. I want to make sure we show them what's right.
The customer proposal you put together is not cookie cutter.
No, it's going to be to your specific situation, your financial needs.
Yeah, the thing about the car, someone that doesn't know about money wants to know what the payment's going to be.
Exactly.
Everybody else, what's the car going to cost me?
Exactly.
That's the big question with the cars.
You ever see the movie Tin Men? With Danny DeVito?
No.
And Richard Dreyfuss? Tin Men, you got to watch it. In there he wants to buy a car, and the guy says, how much is this a month? He says, I want to pay $2.
Yes, exactly.
That back and forth thing,
Yeah, they'll always fit you in the payment.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Well, no, that's good to know because, I got to tell you, I've never heard of somebody that's a financial advisor telling $1 million client to go home.
Well, and I told them twice
that's
so far.
crazy.
This is the third appointment.
No, that I don't think anybody else in the industry would say that, but it shows you how specific you are with what you're going to do. You don't want to just say, okay, do this so you get the deal. You want to make sure you get them in the right thing for them.
A matter of fact, with what proposals I prepare for them so that I know once they do it, this is a lifetime thing. Once you do this is for the rest of your life. So I got to make sure your money's going to be there from 65 to 105. Okay?
Yeah.
It's serious things. I mean,
you and I, we were talking about annuities, a couple things, and you had mentioned to me, and this blew my mind, and then I saw somebody else that does this, that's famous, that Shaquille O'Neal has annuities, right?
Yes.
And you know who else? Huey Lewis and the News.
Oh, really?
Their whole band. Because Huey, I love Huey Lewis in the News. Okay, and he lost his hearing. He can't sing anymore.
You told me that. Do you know he was a painter? And the story is, before he made it famous, he actually was in the car driving along from a painting job.
Yeah.
And he heard his song on the radio. That's when he knew he made it. And he stopped painting after that.
Well, hell yeah.
I mean, come
yeah,
on.
Exactly. I mean, I used to, before I did this, I had another job too. I stopped right quick. But what he had said, he couldn't sing anymore, lost his hearing, but they had the retirement set up for the band. I was like, oh, that's... And the reporter interviewed him, said, a band, a retirement? What are you talking... Usually those guys blow that. And I did some Googling and some researching, and they have annuities and investments for the band. So the band, they're set.
So the smart athletes out there that have a $100 million deal will invest large, $50 million. These insurance companies actually give them approval to take $50 million and put it in an annuity for them.
Wow.
Because if they stop their job at 35 or 40, they need an income stream for the rest of their life. What's going to do it? An annuity.
Yeah. And it's the thing I always tell you guys, if you want to know how to be successful, find somebody who's successful at what you want to be successful at and just do whatever, copy what they're doing. And I did not know this until I met you and started talking about annuities. A lot of people I know that are wealthy, I'm talking about...
Significant.
I'm talking about people that never worry about... They might be cheap, but they're super rich. You know what I mean? They have annuities.
Yeah.
And I thought annuities were really kind of like for middle class people, and they are, but wealthy people use them because their nest egg's always safe.
There you go.
All right, listen, give Joe Thomas a call. It's a no-charge consultation, 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999 and online jupiterjoe.com. All right,
I'm
Joe.
going to see you MAGA Mike Friday.
Oh yes, that's right, next week. That's right. All right, if you want to call in, the number is toll free 888-465-2631. I want to get to a few more things here though, and so much news has been going on. Okay, I've lost my place where I wanted to be. Oh yes. Okay. This peace deal with Israel and Gaza, again, it's not going to go perfect. There's going to be violence. There's going to be problems, okay? And I still don't think Netanyahu wanted the peace deal. And you can tell there's fanatics on both sides. But the Nobel Peace Prizes are coming out, nominations and being awarded and everything. For what, tomorrow? Is it tomorrow? I think it's tomorrow. Whatever, they're coming up. And the media are in a panic that Trump's going to get, it's like... They're triggered, like this Trump 2028 hat I wear. I have more MAGA hats than anyone you know. The only one that triggers people really is this Trump 2028 hat. I don't know what it. I get an occasional "fu" a-hole, with the "Make America Great Again" hat. But the Trump 2028 hat, just the idea that he might run in 2028 is true. Well, this peace deal that he made, they didn't think it was possible, and they're terrified that Trump. Just the idea that he's going to get a Nobel Peace Prize. This is Chris Hayes on MSNBC yesterday.
There was a deal that was sort of jointly negotiated by the outgoing Biden administration and the incoming Trump administration that was also multiple phases. The first phase was...
Okay, did you hear this? So, this peace deal's not true. This was Biden. Biden in the auto pen. Biden had this peace deal all set up. Biden can't even go to the bathroom by himself, all right? But Biden had the peace deal set up, and the framework was there, and Trump came in and took the framework.
There was a deal that was sort of jointly negotiated by the outgoing Biden administration and the incoming Trump administration that was also multiple phases. The first phase was the release of some hostages, a cessation of bombing. That never got to phase 2 the first time around.
So this peace deal, it has nothing to do with Trump. Biden already had phase 1 in. He's just implementing phase 2 of the Biden plan that Biden got phase 1. These people are mental patients.
Instead, the war continued after that. So your point is well taken. Do you think there's a role do you worry that Trump wants to get the Nobel Prize on Friday? It's sort of, I really don't mean that as a joke.
He's ended like 8 wars. If he doesn't get the Nobel Prize, who should? It's the Nobel Peace Prize with emphasis on peace. But I would not be surprised if they give it to Greta Thunberg. Would you? With her stupid flotilla?
Look, the Hamas negotiators even talked.
Wait a second. Did you hear how he just said Hamas? I didn't hear this the first time. All of a sudden, he's got an Islamic accent. This is Chris Hayes. Chris Hayes is whiter than me. Okay? He never gets any sun.
It's sort of, I really don't mean that as a joke. The Hamas...
That's how Ilhan Omar says Hamas. That's how Zohan Mamdani says Hamas. Hamas. This guy, this is MSNBC, Chris Hayes.
Do you worry that Trump wants to get the Nobel Prize on Friday? It's sort of, I really don't mean that as a joke. The Hamas negotiators even talked to DropSite, which has been reporting on this on the record, saying they know that the Nobel Peace Prize matters, that there's some desire to get something done that may not then endure in even the medium term.
I was talking to Diane, your producer, right before the show, and I said Kissinger got the Nobel Peace Prize and Gandhi didn't. So I'm not sure how much the Nobel Peace Prize means, but it means a lot to Donald Trump.
Well, it mean a lot to the country. Remember, do you remember what they gave Obama the Nobel Peace Prize? I'm sure you remember, Mike, what they gave Obama? Obama got the Nobel. He didn't do anything yet. They gave Obama the Nobel Peace Prize before he did anything. You know what they gave it to him for? This is not a joke. This is what they said. For future expectations. They just assumed that he was going to do great things in the future, so they gave him the Peace Prize. He didn't even do anything. I don't remember if they gave it to him before or after Inauguration Day, but it's been too long. But he didn't do anything yet, because I remember it was for future expectations. I'm not kidding. Here you got President Trump has just ended 8 wars. And this one war in Africa has been going on for 200 years. This one that he just ended with the Palestinians has been going on before I was born. Right? These in the other wars, going on and on and on. And no Peace Prize for him? No. We'll see. All right, we're going to take our last break of the day. I'm Brian. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show. We'll be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
This is Mark Laporta, son of Tom Laporta and proud second-generation owner of Laporta Roofing.
As a military veteran who served in the Army after 9/11, I've brought the same dedication and discipline to our family business. At LaPorta Roofing, we've been serving our community for nearly 4 decades, and we're committed to continuing that legacy of excellence. Our team specializes in all types of roofing systems, from shingles to tile, slate, metal, and flat roofs. We're the go-to experts for single-family homes, HOA communities, and condo associations. What sets us apart is our unwavering commitment to customer satisfaction. I've personally implemented systems to ensure you receive the best in customer service and workmanship. Don't miss out on our limited time offer for a free roof inspection. Call us now at 954-604-4602 or visit us at laportaroofing.com. Trust the experts who have been protecting homes like yours for generations. Again, that number is 954-604-4602.
Hello, this is Mike at Friendly Tire. I've been in business 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I can get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
On the line from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated in Boca, we have William Youngerman. William Youngerman, good morning.
Good morning, Ryan. How you doing?
I'm doing awesome. How the metals looking today?
Metal's looking great.
Now, I wanted to ask you about a couple things. Now, listeners call and ask me questions. I know nothing. Call William Youngerman. They've got all the answers on these things. But there's 2 things I want to ask you about. I heard from people. One, 333 gold. Do you deal in 333 gold?
Absolutely. We've made a market in 333 gold since 1969, so 67 actually, and that's one of our specialties. We do deal about the old U.S. $20 gold pieces, $10, $5, and as well as world gold price in 1933. And we make a very fair market. I mean, and price on or get a quote on our price, and they were amazing. Like we were over $500 per ounce cheaper than what some of the marketers are selling 333 gold for. So that was an eye-opener for us.
Wow.
The TV ads, you see, they're charging huge markups on 1933 gold, and there's absolutely no reason for that kind of premium. We have it in stock. For immediate delivery, it's very reasonable and wholesale price. Keep paying listeners.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that only are like exclusive 333 gold. That's amazing. $500 less. Yeah, but I'm sure the TV guy are limiting it to 5 points per call. Now listen, William Youngerman, the number 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. Online, WilliamYoungerman.com. The address, 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca, on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto. All right, that's it. All right, take care.
We take on the social justice warrior.
All right, callers on hold, stand by. So William Youngerman's not with us live today, so you're going to get the, I don't even like to call this the amateur gold report, because this is less than amateur. This is just me giving you the gold prices I looked up online. But I'm looking at gold. Listen to this. Gold's down $8.80 right now, but it's at $4,061.70. I don't even consider that down when you're at these numbers, right? I mean, it's over $4,000 still. That's amazing. Silver is down 64 cents. It's at $48.93 an ounce for silver. Holy smokes. And platinum's up $2.50 at $1,703.30. Give William Youngerman a call. Guys, get in on the metals. He opens up at 10 a.m. 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. His address is 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca, on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. And you can find both his address and phone number on his website, WilliamYoungerman.com. WilliamYoungerman.com. Well, let me go to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Morning, Brian. JJ from Mass.
Hey, JJ.
You know, MSNBC, are you worried Trump is going to stop more wars?
Exactly.
People.
That's crazy.
It's like they want...
don't they hear themselves? They don't even hear themselves.
Good things to good. Too many good things.
I guess they're tired of winning.
Jesus, it's kind of crazy. Listening to a great show today.
Thank you.
A lot of conversation about Gaza Lago, love it, Monaco 2.0, and stuff. And for tunneling terrorists, choose wealth, peace, prosperity. Get rich and live, or get poor and die. It's a pretty easy binary choice. And peaceful Muslims, peaceful Scientologists, peaceful, delusion, whatever. I don't care what, as long as you're peaceful, fine.
Did you hear Greg too talk about the dangers of letting Indians have alcohol? I couldn't believe that call.
A little bit.
Isn't that nuts?
It was that was a U-turn.
Yeah.
That was weird. That was just.
That's right. That was so strange.
I did not see that coming.
No.
What the hell?
Whoa. Gee whiz.
Looking at like Richie's call this morning. I didn't really look at it as fanatical. He was very emotional about it. And listen, when we've got from the river to the sea chants going on in Dearborn, Michigan, the call to prayer and all the craziness going on, I can see people getting emotional about it. But all that being said, we can't, doing nothing is not an option. And bringing money into it, I think what will end up happening is, we're going to have the craziness. There's going to be some Islamists out there that just want to kill everybody, not just you, me, but they want to kill everything that doesn't agree with them. But it'll be more of a, all the countries that are there, all those Muslim countries, Shia, or, you're going to have the Shia Sunni problem probably. But if you get them all together and it's all about their money, and they're going to self-police it. They're going to protect their financial interests. They'll police it, and we won't have to.
Yeah.
There's a much better chance of peace because money does. Listen, it makes the world go round.
These examples I gave to Richie. I was, and this was true. I was watching this guy on YouTube the other day who's an Army veteran. He's retired to Saigon, and Saigon, Vietnam was a pretty dangerous place when Richie was there. My dad was there. And now it's still communist, but it's commie light, It's pretty capitalist. These places, when capitalism goes into an impoverished area and people get upscale, they become less violent. That's it.
Well, it's going to be a slow process. It's not going to, look, it's not, I remember talking about, if it was a year and a half ago, we were talking about names that, ideas for Gaza. And I believe at the time Gaza Lago came up, whatever, but it was just, they level the place and they get, because the Hamas, they took all the friggin' money. That particular area, Brian, received more donations from the world than any other country per capita. They had more donations to that place, and they took the money and they dug tunnels, planning for 10
That's right.
years out. So that type of mentality.
Well, I'm very interested to see the way that the left handle this today. Last night, they were in shock. Now today. And we know there's going to be agitators blowing crap up. That's, come on. And like I said, the first casino they open is going to have a terrorist attack in it, okay? We know this. But, it doesn't mean in the end it's not going to get better. But I'm curious to see how the left process it the day after, because who can argue against ending a war? Really?
I'm worried Trump is going to stop more wars. I think they're They're more worried about Trump, just having a casino in Gaza. That would just...
Trump International Gaza.
In Gaza. Oh, my God. And that, listen, it would not be... listen, Qatar gives him a plane. And he's got all those guys. He's talking the universal language of business.
Money.
So, and they know that, I could easily see them having a monument of Trump in this new Gaza. I could see them do
Yeah. Absolutely. All right, well, listen, I appreciate the call. All right, you take care. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh, hey, Renee.
Yeah, hey, listen, can you tell me what tribe is Ashkenazi from?
I don't know, Cherokee?
No, Ashkenazi.
Yeah, Sioux?
Sue, wow.
I don't know.
About the so-called Israelis supposedly being Jewish. What?
I don't know about all this stuff. I don't know.
You don't know?
Are you one of those idiot black Israelites?
No, but you're the idiot.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I don't understand the black Israelite thing. Can you tell? No, I know I don't. Why are all these black guys think that they're the Jews of the world, not the people that are there?
What country is black?
What country? I don't know. Haiti?
Oh, they're black too.
Jamaica, the Bahamas. I don't know.
That's the country of black.
You said what country is black? I don't know.
What country is the country of black?
The country of black?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh. Because those people who are calling themselves Jewish are not Jews.
Okay. All right. All right. What about Jesus? Was he a black? He was a black guy? Jesus?
From Judah.
Okay, he was a black man.
Yep.
Okay. Who are the white people of history? You know, this Afrocentric history, black, you have these Afrocentric people like Thomas Edison didn't invent the light bulb. He didn't, it was his janitor found the filament when he was sweeping, or all this stuff. This Afrocentric history that you guys come up with is so absurdly stupid. All right, appreciate the call. Oh, boy. Let me play this clip here. This is the governor of Illinois, Fatso Pritzker. Listen to this guy. He's also on MSNBC yesterday.
What's your message, final question, to the people here of the state of Illinois, the people of the city of Chicago, as this incursion by the federal government, these troops are on the streets of your state, of this city. What do you want them to do? There's a big protest scheduled for 5:30 p.m. tonight.
Well, first, we've made sure that people know their rights and they know how to find out what their rights are, because we don't want them picked up off the streets just because they're brown or black, just because they happen to be undocumented.
Oh, we don't want them picked up because they're, and by the way, the only illegals are brown or black. There aren't any white illegals. I don't know. I used to know a guy from Canada, and he didn't have green card or anything. He was Canadian. He was here illegally.
Happen to be undocumented and have committed no crime.
What's your message? No crime, other than they're here illegally. We don't want them picked up because they're illegal. That's a crime. You know what Governor Pritzker needs? You know what he needs? What do you guys think? What does Governor Pritzker need more than anything else? What do you think? Think about it for a second. Governor Pritzker, the governor of Illinois. You know what he needs? Coastal weight loss secret. Yeah, that's right. That's why I say that soundbite for last. As a lead into this. Governor Pritzker, without any exercise, without starving himself, without any shots, without any injections, he could lose weight. With Coastal Weight Loss Secret, you can lose 10 to 20% of your body weight in just 60 days. I've been in the maintain phase for months now, and the cool thing about it, because I didn't have any big lifestyle changes with Coastal Weight Loss Secret, the maintain phase is easy. Not only have I not gained weight, I've lost a few more pounds on purpose because we got the holiday period coming up. I was talking about this a couple weeks ago. I am one of my biggest vices is pumpkin pie, and you really only get it this time of year at Publix. So when I get a pumpkin pie, I don't eat a piece. I eat the whole pie. So I lost a few extra pounds, but you can tell by you guys that watch me online. Look at my profile, and then go find a video of me on YouTube from a year ago. Back in January. Go look at me in January, because that's when I first went over there on Inauguration Day. I started the Monday after Inauguration Day. Look at me back in January, and then look at me beginning of January, because I started mid-January. But look at me last year, and then look at me now. And look at my profile. I didn't even have a chin a year ago. Now I got a square jaw, chin, thin. You can see the neck, everything. Got everything. Schedule your no-charge consultation right now with Coastal Weight Loss Secret. 561-222-8255. 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightlosssecret.com. All right, well, that's all the time we have for today. If you're on hold, hang in there. You'll be first in line tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday already. That's open phones. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday. And on Open MAGA Mike Friday, you can call in about anything and everything on your mind. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show. On the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. God bless America. God bless Donald Trump. And, of course, God bless the late, great Charlie Kirk. See you tomorrow at 6 a.m.
WQAM 104.3 HD3.
All right, guys. I got to clear out because the next show's going to start. So I can't hang late when I'm here at the radio station. I'll be back at my place tomorrow. All right, guys. If you're new, make sure you subscribe, all right? Thanks for watching. See you later.